Hey everyone, welcome back to the IWEP Network, or if it's your first time, welcome hanging out with us. Thank you so much for choosing this podcast, and feedback is always welcome. So make sure to check the links below for all social media links, audio and video versions of this show, and merch. We look forward to hearing from you and hearing that feedback, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, episode 21. Let me move my beers real quick so I don't spill them. We are talking about the Cecil Hotel tonight. Make sure we can hear everybody. Everyone can hear us good. If you're in the chat, let us know you're here. Let's say what's up. I literally just closed out my notes. I'm killing it tonight.
Whoa.
All right. So first off, let's thank our sponsors. First things first, the Abaddon Tattoo Studio, a unique professional experience nestled in the small town of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. They provide high-quality tattoos and piercings in a relaxed, professional, and sterile environment. You can check out the links below for all of their information. Like I said, tonight we are talking Cecil Hotel. Before we get into that, I want to say also check out our merch page. We got our new logo. Andy has the banner behind him there. Looks
Beautiful.
cool. You can get the merch.
It's a font from a horror movie. I don't know which one. I think it's Night or Fright Night.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Might be.
But I like it.
I like it a lot.
I love that
I found
color.
a page that
Purple's
was
beautiful.
all horror fonts.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
I
that's
downloaded
awesome. The purple's great.
The merch
Pearl Mingle.
pages are up and running. You can check them out at TeePublic or over at Teespring. The Teespring's a little cheaper. Our TeePublic's a little cheaper,
Yeah.
and has different items than TeePublic or the Teespring. But the Teespring shirts have front and back print.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is what a T Public banner.
yeah. The banners I think from both companies are good.
Has
They are
the
nice.
double stitching.
Good
so it is
quality.
nice.
Yeah, I think I would say the Teespring's banners are a little thicker, but
Okay.
they're both fine. I think
Yeah.
they both look great. I accidentally ordered a Not Cool in High School banner, but I ordered it in black, and then I went back and changed all of the like because so when you're on Teespring, you can change like as a customer, you can pick colors of the banners. On TeePublic, I set the color, and that's all you get. Like
Oh,
the customer can't pick their colors.
Yeah.
Same with the buttons and the buttons, the cups, whatever color's there, it stays there.
You need to add purple hoodies.
yes.
For what?
This
T-
one?
Everything.
Yeah.
So TeePublic, whatever colors they say are there, that's all they get.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Teespring, if there's a color you want for a certain logo for any of the shows, you can go and check on Teespring, and that color will probably be there.
Okay.
So that's kind of so a lot of that stuff it's completely out of our control. Yeah. So you can go check those out, and also we want to thank our Patreon subscribers. Our first
Jay.
our first of the month.
I have it in my head.
Well, we lost one.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, we did lose one. So we're down
Aw.
to 6 people.
We still have Jen.
We still have. Well, we want to thank Brad Zalonis, the PA Pile Jabber podcast, Hireth in Other Words podcast, Jay, Austin Blackwell, and Jennifer Myers. Oh, that scared me for a second. I thought Jen upped her thing again, but it added up her 2 payments, like her 2 things. Like I
Maybe
almost had a
it's
fucking
Jay,
heart
like-
attack.
Silent Bob.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So
I
if you
love
guys,
Jane Silent Bob.
so
Best combo.
if you guys are watching, please hit the share button. Jen has already have done that. So look at this. Jen
Thanks, Jen.
shared it. She's a superstar. Yeah. So let's well, before we get going, how was everyone's week? We're off a lot longer here when it comes to this show. So how's everybody been since then?
Oh, all right. All
Yeah?
right. Thank you.
Any supernatural
Kinda
stuff you
crazy.
came across, like news-wise, that caught your attention
I thought there were supernatural lights in the parking lot.
over the church?
Yeah.
You thought you were gonna
Just
abduct
kept
it?
going on and off. I was like, I've never seen it do this before.
Every light was green for me in Canada this morning. It was super weird.
Whoa.
That never
Everyone.
happens.
Exactly. I always hit a
Aliens.
red one. You know how like you're at the one green and the next one's red, or it's like
Yeah.
turning red.
You went.
They were all green.
Wow.
We can't beat
It's
that.
hard to do that.
And
in
you were the
Myers, though,
only
too.
one on the
Yeah,
street.
in Pottsville.
I was. It was creepy.
I watched
I
What was
wasn't
it?
late today.
Ghost Adventures Artifacts, and that Zach Bragan guy is such a tool. Such a tool. And everything is haunted. There's no questions asked.
Hmm.
It is whatever the person says. It is.
Is my
Like
key
the guy they
haunted?
brought in the haunted doll, and they're like, "You gotta talk to the doll because it's haunted." It's like, Okay, so there's no questioning, and the guy with the Dybbuk box one, he opens it, and the guy just starts talking in some like different voice, like you're not gonna show the guy that video, you're not gonna tell him what just happened. No, I'm just gonna end,
Yeah.
and it just fucking ends. They don't even
Mhm.
like debate.
So listen,
Like the stuff is cool, but like
Yeah, I'm
like,
into
that's a
the-
little too shit.
I'm into the subject matter, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm into the ghosts. I'm into this.
hmm
I almost bailed on this week's topic. You guys kept me in it, but I almost bailed. And
I
the
know,
reason
I was
I
so
almost
sad.
bailed is because of Ghost Adventures.
Oh God, don't let them ruin it
dead
for
set-
you.
Because I think when people think of the Cecil Hotel, they immediately go to this case and they try to make this case into something more than it is.
I just think it's weird
that's
that
just
this is the
that
only
particular
case.
case.
Yes.
There's
but-
more, I think.
if
Like,
you-
why is it the only one that's like?
I don't know.
There's
Like,
so
I
much
understand
there.
that-
There's some
yeah,
other weird things minus
That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
the girl in the.
I agree.
So much.
I
Yeah.
agree.
2 serial killers have stayed
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean, that's
We'll get into all
Multiple
of that.
suicides.
But
really bad luck.
yes.
Very bad.
Do I
It's
think
cursed.
do I
It's
think
cursed.
energy can
Yeah.
stay there and the energy around the building for what's going on outside?
Yes,
100%.
yes,
I think
it's
that can all
cursed.
translates in. But to think that someone committed suicide and then you're going to put paranormal on top of it just makes me sick. And like
Mhm.
when they go in, like, so I went and watched a little bit of the Discovery. It's on Discovery Plus, but there's other ways you can see clips and stuff. I didn't watch the full episode, but the clips are kind of like, and then I listened to the guy on the Jericho podcast
Yeah.
talk about it.
I enjoyed that.
And he legit said in it, she may have been murdered or committed suicide, or a paranormal entity could have done this to her too. And I was like, stop it.
No,
Like stop. Her family and people are still alive, and you're
and they're
fuck.
hurt.
And they're going around doing like, we're gonna like they didn't contact the ghosts of her. They didn't contact but they had spirits say her name, and then they had a full conversation with the Night Stalker. Like his ghost was there, and they had a full like I'm sure the Night Stalker, out of everything he's ever done, is gonna be like, you know where I'm gonna haunt?
Yeah.
The Cecil
The Cecil
Hotel.
Hotel.
You never know.
Out of all the places, maybe he likes it
They gotta
there.
pick someone.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
You
he-
stay there for weeks.
Maybe he
right?
can't leave the hotel.
This
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it traps you
yeah, that's
Yes.
where I
because it's evil.
if you're a medium and you're into this, and like I'll listen, I'm into it. I'll take you at your word. But there's at some point where when people are grieving and going through things, where you can take advantage of things, and that's where I get really like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about her case and stuff, but it's not going to be the main focal point. It's more going to be like the history of the hotel and some other things that happened. There is tons of stuff you can go over, but like I said, for time purposes, it's not going to be the Lisa Lamb story. Because when I first posted this, it was going to be the Cecil Hotel, Lisa Lamb. When I watched the Cecil Hotel documentary on Netflix, I thought they were going to go through everything that happened with the Cecil Hotel, and they just focused on her one case.
Okay.
There has been on record 18 to 17 deaths, suicides, murders, the whole nine in this hotel.
No, there was more than that. I thought she said that.
Yeah.
Was
On record, that
Oh.
many. But the lady who worked there
Yeah.
said in the 10 years she was there, she lost count over
like,
80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty bad
So
there.
you made it through the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
I turned
It's
it on for
good.
about 5 minutes and fell asleep. I don't know if it was just because I wanted to watch it after work and I was already kind of tired, but I passed out like immediately.
Mhm.
That's
So I
what
was
I was
like,
at the
I'm
last
done.
episode. But it was after work. It was a long day. I started to fall asleep.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it
I
was very
finished it.
interesting.
I finished it. I liked it.
I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it did just focus on her, Tony, because it was a true crime story. I don't think it was
Well, they should have
Cecil.
said the Lisa Lamb story and not named it the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, it's a little misleading, but
Yeah.
I think it's a true crime story. I think I forget the name, but I thought it was really interesting. Although I do feel really sad for her, you know.
Yeah. Well,
The
we're
therapist.
we're
some
gonna
of the
break
therapists,
we're gonna
yeah,
break
feel sad
down
for her.
the hotel and stories. We're not gonna go through all 17 stuff that was on record because there is crazy amount. I will brush over a little bit here and there.
There's two I want to talk about
Okay.
because it's weird.
And then I figured maybe you guys will have done some research and pull us some in there, and then we'll talk about the Lisa thing, and then we'll probably end the show with our thoughts and opinions on that topic. And then that's what I'm kind of guessing what we can do when it comes to this. I just want to share this real quick too
Our thoughts and topics on Lisa.
on the Lisa
Elisa.
thing. Yeah,
It's Elisa actually.
Elisa.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's okay. It's a different name.
I'm on the. Well, she actually she had an actual name, but he went by Elisa Lam.
Yeah,
She
'cause-
has a more Asian sounding name that I would butcher if I tried. Yeah, it's like Ho Yim, but it's something in between
Mhm.
before that.
it's hard to pronounce. but
Yeah, and I don't want to not
but
do it
pretty.
justice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's live bow is what I just put on Facebook for my personal page because I'm trying to type
Well,
and
maybe
do things.
bowing.
Yeah.
You know. some
And I
bows
just
going
closed
on
out my
tonight.
thing again. Son of a Google Doc just closed out on me. All right. Cecil Hotel. or the Stay on Main, which is formerly known as the Cecil Hotel, is a budget hotel in downtown Los Angeles, which is located at 640 South Main Street. Opened its doors December 20th, 1924. The 15-floor hotel has 700 guest rooms. The hotel has had a checkered history with many suicides and deaths occurring here. As of 2017, it was being renovated and redeveloped into a mix of hotel rooms and residential units.
Yes.
The Cecil Hotel was built in 1924 as a destination for business travelers and tourists. The hotel cost $1.5 million in 1924.
Oh, 15-story hotel. It's probably pretty
Could you
big.
imagine that in today's times? That's $1 billion building.
Yeah, that's a huge building.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But it was really pretty. Like when you saw some of the old school pictures,
A lot
I thought it was
of
really
the
pretty.
marble, like they said on the Jericho podcast, a lot of like the foyer or what when you first walk into a hotel, what's that called?
Like the
lobby.
The
lobby
lobby.
grand.
A lot of it still
yeah.
has the original like marble
Yeah.
floors and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess it probably has real ornate woodwork.
The
and
lobby
chandeliers.
gets real nice, but as you start going upstairs, it's turns
Yeah.
into a dog shit hotel.
just
Yeah, it
run
really
down.
is. It's yes. The Stay on Main that they redeveloped was real nice, though. I thought nice and
Yeah.
modern.
Well, they kind of split it. So like the top of one level was just for people who lived there,
Mhm.
and then there was suites, and then there was like the low budget things that like you know what I mean. They kind of split it into 3
They
levels.
did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have to because of something with the government. They have like a deal with the government.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have theories on what I think they should do with the hotel later, but
Oh, yes. We can
because
get into
it is
that.
currently closed as well.
Yes.
So the hotel cost that much. It was its mission was to boast. I'm sorry. It was boasted on its marble lobby and stained glass windows, potted plants, and like the statuary all around it.
Alabaster.
The 3 like people invested about 2.5 million into the enterprise, with knowledge that several similar hotels had been established elsewhere downtown. But within the 5 years of opening, the United States sank into the first Great Depression. The hotel flourished as a fashionable destination throughout the 1940s, and decades beyond saw a hotel decline as nearby area known as Skid Row became increasingly populated with transit. As many as 10,000 homeless lived within a 4 square mile radius of the building. So
I love the
Crazy.
term transient.
yeah, so
I'm so upset about what they do and just how they just like leave them there.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Like that's so disgusting to me.
Yeah.
if you want to learn more about that, please research Skid Row because it really goes to show, regardless of what political party you are, just how much we really just don't give a shit about humans in our
Mhm.
country, in our own country. Literally, it's essentially what happened is we shut down mental health facilities and
Mhm.
mental asylums,
Mhm.
and just
Halfway homes as well.
kicked them out, and just said, go to this location, and they just said, we'll just put them in this little area in LA that and just keep them there.
Yeah.
And then they
What
put
happens.
police barricades up, so if they were tried to leave, they weren't allowed.
Yeah.
And if they did get out of the area, they would pick them up and put them back there.
Yes.
It's sickening. It's
And then
really sickening.
Other cities, surrounding cities, and other parts of LA that had homeless problems would give them a bus ticket to get, and then ship them to Skid Row.
Yeah.
So it wasn't helping people; it was just keeping them contained
like-
without putting them in jail. You know what I mean?
Sending the garbage to the dump.
Yeah, except
Yes.
human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just it's a
Like-
super sad
But,
situation.
hey, that was the 50s.
Yeah. Well, it's
It's still
2000,
happening.
it's 2020,
Still
and Skid Row is now is 2021, and now
It's the
Skid Row is
90s.
is triple its size than what it
Wow.
was back then.
Ooh. Like New York still gives people tickets to get on like a train
Good.
or
Wow.
yep. I just saw that somewhere. New York sends people there till this day. Like it's really sick to me.
Yeah,
It's
a lot
not-
of people
not
on the,
okay.
the East Coast, or they send homeless
Mm.
tickets, like send their homeless to other places.
Yeah.
Baltimore was a big destination spot where they would just give people tickets and go to Baltimore.
Oh, hey, go to Baltimore. Just live down there. Do whatever.
Yeah, don't be in
Live
our
a
name.
plan.
Yeah, we're not going to help you. Get on your feet. We're just going to send you a plane ticket, a
Yeah.
bus ticket to get you the hell out of here, which is super sad because
It's just-
that's how we treat people in our country.
I will
Um,
say though, on the other hand of things, at least they're not leaving them here to freeze to death.
Yeah,
They're like, go somewhere
It's
warmer.
warmer.
Like, yeah, it's a
That's true.
problem, but
it's a
they're
lot.
not gonna
It's probably a
freeze.
little easier to be homeless in LA than it would
Yeah.
be
yeah.
New York
True.
City.
True, but still not okay.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
definitely not okay.
Yeah.
But at least they're getting an opportunity to not.
It's
freeze.
the lesser
Yeah,
of
I-
two.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
So the first documented suicide at the Cecil occurred the evening of January 22nd, 1927, when Percy, I don't know her middle name, but we'll just say Percy Cook, Ormond, sorry, 52, shot himself in the head while inside the hotel room after failing to reconcile with So what happens is I try to read, and then and then my dyslexia kicks in, and my brain goes faster than my eyes.
You got to
So
slow down a little
Okay.
bit.
yeah, it's been an issue I've had my whole life, but this is where I'm trying to get better at it. With his wife and child, the Los Angeles Times reported he was rushed to a receiving hospital with a slim chance of survival. Death records reveal that he died the same evening. The next reported death occurred in 1931 when a guest WK, see, that's where my brain flipped it. WK Norton died in his room after taking poison capsules. A lot of people died taking poison capsules
Yeah.
in
Like, where
in this
do you
hotel.
get poison capsules?
Who
Yeah,
knows?
what
I was
Like, you
wondering
just go to
about
the
that.
pharmacy and be like,
Yeah.
hey, can I have some of these poison
Oh,
capsules?
Yeah,
I'm
that was
gonna
What
go."
is a poison capsule?
It was a
even?
way to go back then, I guess. 'Cause
Oh.
Yeah,
there
have
has
you ever
been
seen in,
multiple
like,
suicides by poison
the
capsules.
movies where like they like you catch the German guy in like World War One or World War Two, and then
Mhm.
like pop their tooth out and
Yeah.
bite down. It's like it's one of those kind of
Yeah, like a cyanide.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, where do you even get that?
I heard there's a little bit of
market.
cyanide inside of an
That's
apple
probably
seed.
what it is.
It might be.
Oh, I heard that too.
Yes, there is. There is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
you-
eat enough
Yeah.
apple seeds, you can die. From what I
Yeah,
heard.
you
You probably
can.
need to eat like a lot. Though.
Yeah.
Don't do that, people.
Yeah.
We're not teaching you how to.
Don't eat apples.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to eat
No.
seeds
Yeah.
of any.
Stick to donuts. It's a lot
Yeah.
healthier.
Well, yeah.
Throughout the 1940s and 50s, more suicides of the Cecil occurred, and in 2008, two long-term residents referred to the place as the Cecil as the suicide. It became a popular nickname in social media years later. Room Spook was also a website that tracked hotel deaths and listed at least 13 suicides that happened in the hotel. Addition to suicides, the Cecil history includes other violent and disturbing happenings. It also became a notorious rendezvous spot for adulterers,
Ooh,
couples,
adulterer.
drug
Adulterer.
activity,
Yeah.
Which
and
that isn't. Yeah, it might not be right, but if you're cheating on your wife, it's not evil.
I feel like that happens in a lot of hotels.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like
hotels everywhere.
killing somebody and
That's-
cheating on your spouse. Not the same.
yeah,
Right.
well, that's our society. We're more worried about people going to a hotel and cheating on their wife, but the homeless people outside are like,
Yeah.
fuck them people.
Yeah.
A common ground for also sex workers. In 2015, while
Like other
researching,
hotels.
while researching the Cecil, an article for KCET, researcher Hadley Myers claimed that in 1947, Elizabeth Short, dubbed by the media as the Black Dahlia, was rumored to have been drinking in the Cecil bar days before her notorious unsolved murder. However, this claim appears to be nothing more than a retelling of a long falsehood that first appeared in a 1995 column written by Los Angeles Times Steve Harvey, not the guy from Family Feud. Without fact checking the claim,
I just kicked that lady's
Yeah.
head.
without fact checking the claim. So pretty much they're like, how can we make the Black Dahlia even more of a thing and put her in a spin? Now,
Mhm.
the rumors were that she did go to hotel bars in that area. But the idea of her being at the Cecil, they don't even have. According to LAPD, Short was last seen in the Millennium Bitmore Hotel on January 9th and not seen until her body was rediscovered in an empty field on January 15th. There are no known records of Elizabeth Short ever being at the Cecil Hotel. So sometimes people kind of get lumped in the hotel
So
because it's spooky. And
When was this
Mhm.
name? I mean, when did this?
it was in 2015 when people
Oh,
were doing research.
2015.
Yeah,
Okay. I
they
was
were
gonna
trying
say,
to retrace her steps.
if
And,
it happened a long time ago, they could have very easily been like, "I'm this person," and
Right.
not actually had records because they didn't have tech to
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
"You are
Yeah.
you."
it was pretty much just trying to pile on the conspiracy of,
Now,
of the spooky
she was
hotel.
Black Dahlia.
Yes.
There was Black Dahlia murders too. Is that the same thing, or is that something
I
different?
think
She
there
was
was.
I think it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think
Wasn't it
more
like a
people
doc-
were
they
found.
think it was like this doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they-
Doctor.
because there's
Yeah,
a metal
they do
band
think
called
it
the
was her
Black Dahlia
doctor.
Murder,
Mhm.
and I think there's something over in some like Sweden or something.
There was a
called
few.
Black
There was a
Dahlia.
few murders that were done in the same style,
Mhm.
but she was the face of the murders.
Okay.
They used her as like the poster of
It
it.
was like the creepy abortion doctor.
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who they
No,
think.
And
but they
Anthrax
can't
has a
prove
song
it.
called Black Dahlia.
Yeah, so it's kind of like in today's terms, and I'm not saying this in a negative connotation, but people right away when they say like the BLM movement, the Black Lives Matter, they go right to the George Floyd murder.
Yeah.
But that was the one that took off the movement. You know
Like
what I
the
mean?
tipping point.
That was a
Yeah.
tipping point. That movement has been going way before that, and there's a lot more names, but people associate it with just that one. You know what I mean? I kind of think that's what the whole Black Dahlia thing is. I think there was a lot more murders,
Yeah, I
but
don't
because
know
she
much
was
about it.
a Scarlet
It
and
was
she
a
was
big name.
beautiful and
Murder.
people knew of her, and she had more a little. She was the one that the media
was, like,
caught on to.
famous, yeah.
That's where they attached it to. Where am I at here? All right. In 1964, a retired telemarketer named the Pigeon Goldie Oswald, who had been well known and well liked and a long-term resident at the hotel, was found dead in her room. She had been raped, stabbed, beaten, and her room ransacked. Jackie's B. Ellinger was charged with her murder, but later was cleared. Her murder remains unsolved to this day. So that was
Crazy.
one of the first murders that took place in the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pigeon Gold.
Yeah, she would go and feed
Pigeons.
birds.
Yeah,
that was her
she-
thing.
And she was like really friendly and outgoing, and everybody really loved her.
Mhm.
Yeah, she was like harmless,
She'd
and they
been
just
choked
murdered her.
to death with a hand towel, the coroner said.
Yeah.
How about that? And then
Awful.
stabbed. It's like, "Ah, son of a bitch.
Somebody-
Get up, you.
It sounds like it, that kind of murder. That seems like it was somebody who, like, like they really had strong feelings for her. Is how I would take that. That's
Yeah.
awful. That's just awful.
Yeah, or just sometimes people just get in that manic state where they're like they just start doing stuff, and then they're like, at this point they're like, well, fuck, might as well just see what else I can do here. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of sick in the head to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the most infamously in the 1980s at the hotel might have been a resident, or was a resident there,
Mhm.
was serial killer Richard Ramirez. He was nicknamed the Night Stalker. Ramirez was a regular presence on Skid Row area in Los Angeles, and according to hotel clerk who has claimed to have spoken to him, Ramirez is rumored to have stayed at the Cecil Hotel for weeks. Ramirez may engaged in part of killing. Ramirez may have engaged in part of his killing spree while staying there.
He
So
definitely did.
in the documentary, they also said that he would strip his clothes off in the alley and then walk through the hotel lobby naked, still covered in blood.
Mm-hmm. They saw
Um,
him that way. Can you imagine just like this letting some dude walk in there like that? Like this didn't stop him.
But I think at
I
that
would
point,
like call the cops. I'd
Yeah.
call the cops. This dude's bloody naked every single day. Like,
but you're also in the middle of Skid Row. There's really nothing that's going to shock
So
you
a
at
lot
that
of
point.
people call the cops there.
I
Yeah,
feel- I feel
and
like
the
the
cops don't even
didn't
show
even
up at
care.
that point.
So they
Like,
called 3 times
I
a day.
understand.
You know how many
but
homeless
that's
people-
extreme,
you know how many
though.
homeless people probably come in and just like
Bloody and naked.
Probably.
I don't think so. I don't
Covered
think
in
so.
blood.
I don't know.
watch the documentary on Skid Row. It's insane.
I mean, I will, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're all bloody and naked. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm
Maybe
sure they're
naked,
mixed.
but not covered in blood.
Yeah, like
And at
just
that
being
point-
bloody and naked, and I just think that's like quite a
Yeah.
shocking.
I feel like they just wanted to like turn a blind eye to everything.
He's
'cause they
paying his
didn't want-
bill.
They didn't want the bad publicity.
He's
I
paying
agree
his,
with
he-
that.
he- he's
Yeah.
paying his bill.
I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Want the money, don't want the bad publicity. They already have enough bad publicity,
Mhm.
excuse
Yep.
me, and they just want to like maybe get like good, for lack of a better word, like good paying citizens in. So if they can hide the dirt, they're going to hide the dirt. That's my opinion.
Some of these rooms at this hotel, just to go into this too, I want to paint a picture if you haven't watched the documentary. But in certain floors of this hotel, when you're a guest, you don't like. It's not like a hotel where you have your own bathroom.
No, you have to
There's
share
there's
it.
a there's a
That's
shared
awful.
common bathroom.
Nope.
And some
On
of the rooms
one
were,
floor.
Like,
Yeah.
bunked.
They
Like, there
were.
was like a
Yeah,
bunch of
some
them.
rooms you had to spend the night with a stranger if you wanted to. So there was even cheaper options to stay there. Now, do
Oh.
I think the reason they
No.
did some of that is because of Skid Row to maybe give if someone homeless guy can go out and spare a couple bucks, he can come in and spend the night.
That's
Sure,
nice.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean. And they just try to help the guy out, but you didn't have your own bathroom, so a lot of times you had to use a common bathroom. So I just don't think that hotel at that time in the 80s and with Skid Row being so thing, people who lived in LA were not going to that hotel
No.
to as a ritzy tourist. Like they wanted to attract big name people, but if you have someone who's paying top dollar, like, wait, I have to share a bathroom.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
I'm not staying there. So then it kind of started gravitating a different type of people who would go to that hotel. The people who were going to go use some drugs, the people who were going to buy prostitutes. If you're a homeless person on the street or just you're down and you're just you want to go into a hotel to shoot your do
On
drugs.
vacation and you didn't know about it.
So
You
I
want to
think
kill someone.
so I think at that point, the people who worked there were just like, dude, you can imagine the shit they seen. You know what I
think
mean?
Some of the workers were murderers. That's my theory.
Or they're probably
That makes sense.
they're probably if you're working there,
Probably
probably a
getting
great
in
way
on
to
it.
make a couple side bucks selling drugs out the door too.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm not
Or
accusing
murder
of that,
people
but
that nobody's gonna know are missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Maybe
my
they worked
theory.
with stupid
yeah. So they're-
Richard Ramirez
so
covered in blood,
yeah,
naked.
and that's
Oh,
all.
we're just gonna let that go. It's fine.
And that's all speculation too. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah,
there's
but-
no
Oh, he
proof
said
of
she-
that.
Yeah, like
It's a he like
you told someone, they
Hearsay.
tell somebody.
yeah, or
I'm just
some guys
saying.
like I start working, they're like, yo, bro, I see him come up in his underwear, and like, then why don't you say anything? You know, bro, that you know how
I
it
see
is.
him drive a car up.
And the next guy's like, "Oh yeah, he was covered." in blood."
Realistically, half the people who encounter Richard Ramirez didn't even know he was Richard Ramirez
Probably,
until he was caught. So
Yeah.
when they probably put two and two together, like, oh, that makes sense of why he was naked going. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
then
so
they probably
just look
amped
at
it
that.
up and was
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh
see him
my
carrying
God, naked."
bones.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it gets just embellished,
story.
embellished.
Yeah.
The Black Dahlia's drink right there. Like,
I-
no, she never.
Just look at his
They had a
like
drink with Richard Ramirez.
he has that like lifeless look in his eyes, like
creepy.
very creepy.
Yeah.
I would not put it past him. Just look at him. Like he just has like a lifeless,
You know what's interesting about him? Though?
crazy look.
When
in
you
his
see
eyes.
him, he and in his mugshots and his everything, he's terrifying looking. But when he was in court, he looked like a fucking movie star.
I didn't
They usually do.
Yeah, because
If
I
you-
feel
Dude,
like
his
at that
hair
point,
was
he
feathered. He was wearing sunglasses. Like he looked
Well,
like Keanu Reeves.
yelling
at that
Hail
point,
Satan.
Yeah, like
Well,
at that-
that one he looked crazy, but
he
later
looked
on,
very crazy.
he was in like fucking Ric Flair suits with sunglasses and his hair
well, at that
looking
point,
nice.
he's like a celebrity, and there's
Yeah.
all those crazy women who are like, "Oh, marry
Yeah.
me."
You
like,
said it on me.
Ew.
they're
I want to write a
crazy.
serial killer, rapist,
about it,
child,
crazy.
yeah.
child pedophile.
No,
So gross.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He just every picture I seen him in, his eyes just look like dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looks like an
He-
evil person.
Dead.
yeah.
He does look
he had
evil
a
and
very
crazy.
interesting childhood and went through a
Yeah.
lot of fucked up things, and
Oh,
society failed him and created a monster essentially.
that's probably what happened then, which is really sad.
Yeah, but
you know?
it's also possible to just be evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He could just be a
just
piece of
knowing,
shit.
just hearing what he went through as a kid, where he
Yeah.
watched like just pure violence and murder and everything in
I
his
mean-
life.
Aw.
He was
Yeah, I mean, you can go from paths.
absolutely,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm not making excuses
Yeah.
for who he became, but you can definitely see why he probably went that route. You know what I mean? He didn't have much guidance. All he ever knew was crime
Yeah.
and murder
I mean,
and
you
robbing
know,
and stealing.
Your parents could be killed in front of you, and you become a killer.
Batman.
or you become
Batman.
Batman.
Or you be,
So,
yeah, Joker or
yeah,
Batman.
I mean,
I love that analogy. That's why I love comic books, because like that's if you watch a Joker movie and you sympathize with him, it's a good chance you can get caught up in that path. If you watch that movie and be like, no man, you could have been something better, then you're more or less a Batman fan. You know what I mean? It's kind of how you look at life,
Yeah, but you can still sympathize with them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not be like, don't murder people.
or
Yeah.
idolize him.
Don't murder
Like
them.
Yeah.
I think it's justified why he killed those
yeah,
people. on
yeah,
the train.
okay, yeah.
Not really.
Anyway,
Take
And
some
the
notes.
other murderer too.
Right.
Do you have him there? Because I haven't pulled up here. Jack Unweiger.
Yep. So another serial killer,
Who's the other one?
Austrian Jack Underwear.
Yeah.
That's actually not his name, but
Unter-
I was gonna say, is that
Wager.
really his name?
Unterweger? Unterweger?
Wait, where is it?
I don't think he deserves the respect to have a cool last name.
It's
so.
UNTERWEGE.
There it is. Unterweger.
He's Jack Underwear. Stayed at the Cecil Hotel in 1991, possibly because he sought to copy Ramirez's crimes. While there, he strangled and killed at least 3 sex workers, in
Ugh.
which he was convicted for in Austria. He hung himself shortly after his conviction. So here's the
Jeez.
crazy thing about this guy.
I
Right.
don't know him either.
Yeah, he does look pretty crazy.
This guy,
What's this guy look like?
Oh, it's some dorky little white guy.
yeah.
Can
So
you pass
he
that
was
down?
he
Like
was
he's trying to
convicted
be
of murder
Peter
in
Owen.
Austria. In Austria, in certain countries, you can kill somebody, and the max amount of time you're able to do in that jail, no matter where you can kill 400 people. Your max sentence can go no longer than 15 years
In Austria.
in certain countries.
Oh.
Japan's like that too. If
Yeah,
you-
it said he served his prison sentence. or killed
well,
him.
he
Oh my
actually got out.
God.
He served his prison sentence, and also he had a lot of people because he started writing books while he was in jail to showing he was rehabilitated and he was a different person. So people like petitioned for him to get out. So he gets out of Austrian jail, then comes to America and starts killing again.
Mm.
And then he was obsessed with Richard Ramirez and tried to
God.
copycat him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's someone who,
Original.
yeah, do your own thing, bro. Yeah. So that was a great guy who also stayed in this hotel as well. So talk about more
Supposedly.
great. No, he definitely stayed there. 100% stayed there.
So looking at that photo, I don't know if it's just because of the outfit he was
It looks like
wearing.
Steve Irwin.
I was gonna say it looks
It
like he's an
does.
older version of his
It
son.
does.
Yeah.
He does.
Like,
Poor Steve
I
Irwin.
found a funny note too about the suicide. The one lady, the Pauline Otten, who was 27, and she wrote the suicide note to her husband, and then leaped 9 stories from the Cecil Hotel. She landed on a homeless
Right.
guy and killed the
Oh, yeah,
homeless
yeah.
guy.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, that did
Like,
happen.
there's another one where-
Aw.
What?
She got
What?
caught.
There's another one where a girl jumped out and got caught in the power lines.
Yeah.
that's the
Wow.
one I want. One of the ones that I want to talk about. I'm like, that's shitty luck.
That-
Yeah.
Like of
Yeah.
all things, yes, it's bad that you want to kill yourself, but you fail in like the worst possible way by landing on electrical wires
Well,
that
they
save
won't.
your life.
They won't electrocute you.
No, but I'm saying they saved you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
and then she died in the hospital.
Now,
or whatever.
if she were to hit the wires and I believe grab one wire and then her foot touch the other, then she creates a spark.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you jump and grab a hold of a power line, I don't think you get shocked because there's no ground. Now, if you're holding onto a wire and you're standing on the floor, that's when you create the ground and then it passes through you.
Like a bird.
Oh,
sitting
I
on a
didn't know
wire.
that.
I could be wrong. I'm not an electrician, but I
I'm
think
not
that's the
either.
way it might work.
I thought the
That's why
ground
a bird-
keeps you from getting
That's why a bird can just land on them and they don't pop.
Oh,
I'm
I
pretty sure
always
that's-
wondered that.
Yeah, because they always have that thing at the Bloomsbury Fair
Mhm.
where like they have the electrical wires and then they do the safety things.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, because you need to be grounded.
Yeah.
Oh, and why did that girl end up dying if she landed on the?
I think she hit the wires, flipped around a foot time, and then hit
Ah.
them.
She died in the hospital. later.
Yeah,
after
there has been a
Oh.
lot of people who have jumped from
I mean,
their,
I feel
their
bad
windows.
for the guy that was just taking a walk and got
Yeah.
flat.
Poor
but
guy.
I
yeah.
liked
Local transient.
their
Fuck.
reason behind it. They're like, at first they thought they died together, like they both
Oh
jumped,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, if he would have jumped, his shoes would have came off, and his hands wouldn't have been in his pocket. I'm like, what do the shoes have to do with anything?
Yeah. Maybe
Like-
tied him real tight.
Or the hand.
Yeah. Right. You can jump
He double knotted
and
them.
have your hands in your pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily going to come out.
Well, I'll give a quick shout out to our buddies at Murder My Dude. They always said if someone's going to jump from a large building, they had to do the George Carlton joke. The Carl Carlin joke is to do the rowboat. Is while you're falling, you have to sit perfectly and pretend you're rowing a boat in the air.
Oh, okay.
And while we're there, we're gonna try something new on the show here. We're gonna give some people some love on the show, and say it seems like every day on Netflix. It seems like every day Netflix or someone is like this coming out with the latest true crime TV show. But if you like your true crime packed with comedy and the occasional, okay, more than occasional off-topic banter, then check out Murder My Dude. Every episode of Murder My Dude takes a big look at true crime cases, the latest crime news, and finishes off with everyone's favorite game, Who Died the Worst? Find out more at projecthumanoid.com. You can also search for Murder My Dude on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, or you can search for Murder My Dude on all your favorite social media platforms. Listen, or else.
Whoa.
They actually did a whole episode on Ramirez, so if you want to check that out also, go show them guys some love. Brian is also a member of Tornado Tag Podcast, so we're going to be doing another ad read for his other new podcast in a couple minutes here. So that's our new thing we're trying. If you want to have your business have a little ad read in our show, let's work out a deal. We could figure something out. We'll I don't want to do like the hit a button and it plays. I
Yeah.
kind of like the live ad reads, and then hopefully I'll get better at them, because I read like I'm 12. So
When you said new, I was like, wait a minute, we did this last time. I'm like, how's that new? And I'm like, oh wait, that different show.
Yeah.
Like, we have not done it on
because
this
you're
one.
on like 8 shows on this network.
They run together.
Yeah, it all blends together.
I have to look up at the banner.
Yeah,
to
what-
be
what-
like,
I do
oh,
all the
what?
time. I'm like,
What show are we on?
it's like, hey everyone, welcome to Tornado Truth Behind Illusion.
My cup says this, but the
Yeah.
banner says that. I don't know.
I'll
Uh,
have to look at the banner.
so let's get into what I guess really put the Cecil Hotel on the map.
It was the baby.
Oh, we'll get to that's actually my Patreon episode thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna do that for the Patreon.
okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones I was talking about too.
Yeah. So there's a story that I'm gonna say on the Patreon. So if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, $5 to get extra content, $1 for a shout out. You can definitely help us out there. But we'll be recording it immediately following this, and you guys can check it out after it posts.
I forgot to bring,
Watching
like, the weird
then.
New Jersey book to read from it.
That's all right. We'll just probably talk in there and banter a little bit as well. Usually by that time we just start talking. We'll probably even do like a part 2 in the episode and talk about more. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But in 2013, the Cecil by then was rebranded as the Stay on Main Hotel. Although still maintaining the original Hotel Cecil signs and painted advertisements on the exterior, it became the focus of a renewed attention when surveillance footage in the elevator of a young Canadian student named Elisa Lam was behaving erratically in the hotel elevator. That went viral. The video depicts Lam repeatedly pressing the elevator buttons, walking in and out of the elevator, and possibly attempt to hide from someone in the corner. It was recorded shortly before her disappearance. Then her body was then found and discovered in a water supply tank on the hotel roof. I made sure I added this because I researched the hell out of it. Through the open latch, maintenance men found her Lime laying face up in the water.
Mhm.
The tank was then drained and cut open. Its maintenance hatch, so because it was too small to accommodate the equipment needed to remove Lamb's body. So a lot of people think, once again, embellishing stories and adding more there was.
Mhm.
First, the lid was closed, then the lid was open, then there was no way to get in the tank at all. Then they had to cut the tank open because there was no way to get in to get her out. Not true at all. They went up, found her in an open hole, found her body, and then to get the equipment to get her out properly because she's bloated and they didn't
Yeah.
decompose and all that, they had to then get equipment, so they just cut the tank. So it wasn't, they couldn't.
I heard that to get to the tank, you'd have to go outside some weird way.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get into that
Yeah,
as
you
well.
do.
We'll dive deeper into that. where am I at here? The full coroner's report released in June stated that Lamb's body has been found naked. Similar clothing what she was wearing in the elevator video was floating in the water, coated with a sand-like substance on her body. Her watch and room key were also with her. Now, this is where I was looking at more research, but some people said that she did not have her glasses with her, which is a big thing. So Lamb's
Can't
body
tell
was,
when she is.
that was a thing. She didn't have very good eyesight,
Mm-hmm.
which comes into play a little later on, which may rise suspicion about what's going on. But Lamb's body was moderately decomposed and bloated. It was mostly greenish and with some marbling evident on the abdomen and the skin separation evident. There was no evidence of physical trauma, sexual assault, or suicide. Toxicology tests showed traces of a prescription medication among of her belongings, plus non-prescription drugs such called Sinotab,
Sinotab.
and ibuprofen. A very small quantity of alcohol, about 0.02, was present, but no other recreational drugs. The alcohol is a little thing because by the time you found her, she's so diluted and she was sitting in water, so that would have diluted anyway, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So she could have been drunk. Who knows?
I feel
Yeah.
like any medication could have also worn off by then, because they don't know how long she was in there.
Medication's a little different. So when you take like an antidepressant, that's going to be in your system for a while.
Yeah, but I don't mean that. I mean like if somebody drugged her, like it could have possibly worn off because they don't know how long she was in there. Right?
Depending on what they use to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because so for example, because I know this because of the field I work in, marijuana can stay in your system up to a month or sometimes longer.
Mhm.
And then other other drugs have other lives.
I
and
think cocaine's
half-lives.
only like 6 days or something, or 3 days, and there's a whole bunch of different ones.
And then if it's laced with different things, that's going to of course change the chemical makeup and how long it stays in.
Yeah.
And then I read some other things too, just to go back to like the no evidence of sexual abuse. Some of my research said something different, but when we talk about that, I can share what I found.
Yeah, this is straight from the coroner's lab. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then articles I read said other stuff, so it's really weird.
That's the big thing with this one. I think a lot of people are taking it and spinning their own narrative. So that's why when I went through this, I was trying to find exactly what came from toxicology and what really came from coroners, because once again, if you ask somebody on the internet, they're trying to spin a different web. And if you watch the documentary, there's a guy from a death metal band that was
I felt so bad for
Right.
him. Poor
tortured.
Morbid.
because they were trying to pin a murder on him that he had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Wow.
and then when the coroner comes out and says she has no sexual assault on her body, that doesn't fit their narrative. So they have to then add that. And then once the internet takes it, of course you read it's true. That's where I was trying to, because I was looking for more and more things with this. So investigators and experts have, however, noted that the concentration of prescription drugs that were in her system indicate that she was under medicating or had stopped taking her medications recently. Following complaints of the residents, an odd tasting water and low water pressure. So that's another thing that was going on. And how she got in there it still remains a mystery. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled her death an accident due to drowning, with a bipolar disorder being the significant factor. So they think she maybe had an episode, or she went manic and wandered to the roof. How she got there, we'll get into in a minute. It's still kind of up in the air. Climbed into a water tank, which is still kind of weird because
It wasn't easy to get
it
to.
wasn't an easy climb.
Yeah.
I have things to say about that as somebody who works in the mental health field as well, if anybody cares to hear.
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. What's your take?
You want me to go into the bipolar now?
Sure.
Okay. So
It's like, okay.
oh, I'm ready. Yeah. So bipolar disorder. I'll go into it a little bit. So you have depressive episodes and manic episodes, depressive episodes, and then you have your normal. So you'll cycle between the three in different rates. Every individual is different. You may start with your depressive episode, then go into whatever your normal is. Normal is different for everybody because we're all different individuals. And then go into your manic cycle. So in this situation, based on what the documentary would say, I would say that she was probably most likely in a manic cycle. And when you do have your manic cycles, usually when you're manic, you could have paranoid features, which looks a lot like schizophrenia, where you hear voices, see things that aren't there, feel things that aren't there, have like delusions like somebody's after you, somebody's trying to get you, somebody's trying to kill you, things like that. And the documentary does talk about that a lot. So you need to be on a mood stabilizer. You need to be, which would be like certain types of medications that only treat manic disorders. So that's what they're saying. And she was not taking her mood stabilizer. When the documentary came up, I paused it. I looked very closely at her medications, and she was not taking that one, which would treat that episode. So my only concern with that is, yes, people will like want to hide. They want to get away from it. I understand that, but hiding in that particular kind of situation or environment, I find very odd because people aren't going to hide in situations, where you could possibly like kill yourself. Like a water situation, I thought that was kind of weird. I've never seen anything like that. And I've been in the field for many, many years. So you would want to probably hide in like a space that's like small and safe, but I don't see a water
Tower.
like a water tower being anything that fits that environment.
But to say it can't happen either is
I don't know. It would
it's not
depend.
impossible.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. I think it just seems
It's
odd to
unlikely,
me.
but
Highly.
it's not impossible.
Nothing's impossible,
Yeah.
of course. But when you're having like hallucinations, you cannot tell what is real and what's fake anymore. Like you have a
She might not
break
even
from
know she was going
reality.
into a water tank. She thought maybe she was climbing into something completely different if she was that dark. You know what I mean? Or that
Oh,
deep in
sure.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, to go through, so this is what I'm like trying to say. To go through what she had to go through to get into that water tower, to be in that state of mind, to have like voices, seeing things, hearing things that aren't there, that is very, very difficult to do when you're like in that state of mind. When you're manic, you have you have what we call like a pressured speech, where you can't really like understand what they're saying. You have like a flight of ideas, which is a whole bunch of thoughts crossing your mind at one time, where you cannot like grasp onto one thought. Like it's a whole bunch of thoughts. It's so hard to focus, which is why they have the pressured speech, because they have so many thoughts going through their mind at one time. So then they talk really fast to get it all out because they don't want to forget it. They have bursts of energy. They don't sleep very well. They may start one project and go into another. That's just most of the things that you'll see with manic. So if you have a bunch of hallucinations, plus you have all those thoughts crossing your mind at one time, your mind is going to be very, very
And she did also
busy.
have a small trace amount of alcohol in her system.
True. Mm-hmm.
But that's when they found her bloated in a water tank 7 days later.
Yeah.
So if there's still alcohol on her
So then
breath,
you're
like
drunk,
in her,
yeah.
so she was also probably
Probably had a
manic
lot.
and drunk.
So her mind is definitely not clear. Definitely not clear at all. Plus, you're having active hallucinations, and she had the type of hallucinations that tell you you're going to die. Someone's going to kill you. Somebody's kind of like after you. Those are very severe hallucinations. Those people are at very high risk. When you have a manic cycle and you're in a manic cycle, you're already at high risk. Plus, you have those types of hallucinations on top of it. You're at very, very high risk. You should never be off your medication, and you should definitely make sure you're, doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. Have like a good support system around you. She had none of that. So when you're in that kind of state,
She's in a shitty hotel, surrounded by a shitty neighborhood.
yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I can't imagine what her world was like with all that going on, knowing what I know about mental health and being in, the field and talking with people who've been through that. That's very scary, very, very, unreal, and you're away from your support system who's all the way in Canada. So, it must have been very hard for her those last few days, and I really feel for her. But my concern is, how is she able to, running up steps, getting in elevators, things like that, not a big deal. Climbing up that tiny little ladder.
Well,
all
I'm
the way
gonna
up
get
to
to that in a
roof.
moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in 1 second.
I just don't know how that's possible in that state of mind.
I agree, but I also have seen drunk and high people do crazier. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even for someone who's manic. I've seen someone who's manic do some stuff that I was like, wow, I couldn't even do that sober. You know what I mean? So I never rule anything out. But the thing with this also is, I'm not bashing her parents. I don't know the family situation,
Yeah.
but it seemed like her retreat was social media a lot. She
Mm-hmm.
used Tumblr a lot as like a journal.
Yes.
So I don't know how strong her support system was at home, and being
True.
in a culture where
Yes.
she's Asian American, a lot of
Yep.
that times like
She's
the being bipolar, and even like, and that's
Asian
not,
Canadian.
not even just an Asian family, but like a black family or a white family. Sometimes certain cultures don't want to hear the fact that their kid or their son has mental issues, and they
Mhm.
don't
Very
want to be
true.
on medical.
Yeah.
Like so
Very true.
a lot of people just write you off as crazy and just write you off completely, and you don't really have that support system. Now, she traveled all the way here knowing that was her condition, and her family
Mhm.
let her do it. So that's kind of a red flag for me.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
begrudgingly.
Yeah. I mean, they
and-
couldn't really stop her. She was an
Right.
adult.
Yeah. And then what was the other thing I wanted to say there? Oh, she also, when she first checked in the hotel, was in one of those situations where she had a roommate. So she did share a room with somebody. Her roommate went down to the desk and like, you got to get me the fuck out of this room or get her out of this room. There's something wrong with this girl.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was an overnight thing where she just was perfectly fine and the next day snap a finger and she went.
It's usually
Nuts, yeah.
slow, especially when you're not taking your meds.
It was
yeah.
a build. It was because some people at the bookstore then seen her and said she was fine. She was a little off, but she was fine. She was trying to buy books to take home and how she can travel with them. Because that was one of the things they said, I don't think she could have committed suicide because the day before she was in a bookstore trying to find gifts to take back home with her when she travels. But a lot of people who commit suicide, like example
know
like
it's coming.
Chester, was literally playing with his kids 30 minutes before he killed himself. When you're in that mode where you're going to do
Are
it,
you talking about Chester Franklin Park?
yeah.
I have theories on that.
But I'm saying there is
There's a reason he's fine.
there is points where people can be
Yeah.
with the people they love the most
Yeah.
and then just go into that dark mind state. A lot of people
I miss
they
Chester.
they say that people who get to that point of suicide isn't something they think like it's there for years, but it's literally with a 15-minute window where they do it or they don't do it. And they go through that 15-minute window numerous times throughout their life.
Right.
Mhm.
And so you can be like, I love you so much, and then go upstairs and be like, this is it. Bang. Like, you know what I mean? And then the person you just kissed and said, I love you was like, they were just fine. Like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? So
That's
the
very
human
true.
the human mind works in many different ways.
Could it have been like almost like a touch of normalcy? Like even if she
Yeah.
pre-thought, tomorrow I'm gonna kill myself. I don't know.
Today I'm gonna live my life.
Right.
The best
I'm
I
gonna
can.
go through all of these things, and if whatever doesn't change, it's gonna happen.
We've seen people who we know personally, and when I say we, I'm looking at us used to that have been through manic modes where one day they're like, how the fuck, like you're like, what the fuck is wrong with them? And then 30 minutes later, you're like, they're completely normal again. So like that's something that sometimes when people go through that, they can learn how to not control, but they can be that hot or cold
So
too.
that's what I was saying about when it cycles.
Yeah.
When you learn about your mental health, you'll learn that your depression usually lasts for so many days, like so many weeks, and that
Mhm.
manic cycles last for so many days, so many weeks,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to like track it and things because it cycles and it
Yeah.
will last for so long, and then it will go away, and then it will.
I've seen
come
someone
back.
in a 2-hour period change 3 times.
That's called rapid cycling.
Yeah.
That does exist, and that's a different like that because we do diagnosis codes and there's
Yeah.
diagnosis codes for that. And I wanted to speak on the suicide as well. When a person has come to the determination that they are going to kill themselves and there is no changing that, they are usually at peace, and then they can go about their day and follow their plan. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it, which
Yeah.
is really sad. And there's nothing you can say or do about that at times, even though you try really, really hard. And it's very, very awful and very sad. And so I wanted to say that is something that definitely does happen in
Mhm.
in the mental health world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's sad though.
So the investigators determined how Lamb died, but did not initially offer any explanation how did she got into the tank in the first place. Doors and stairs that access to the Roof's hotel are locked, only having the staff pass key codes and keys, and any attempt to force them would have supposedly triggered an alarm. So there's one indication there if
theory.
you want to swerve one way.
And I just have a question. If it like goes off, why didn't anybody hear it go off, and why didn't they do anything about that?
Well, they're saying it didn't go off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
That's even what the manager said. She's like, if the alarm went off, we would have heard it at the front desk. Like
Yes.
it goes off.
The
That's my
hotel
theory.
does have a fire
Mhm.
escape that could have allowed her to bypass those security measures. And a scent trail that a dog came in and was looking for her was lost at the window that connected to the fire escape.
Hmm.
So the dog's scent tracked Lisa from her room to the elevator, from the elevator to the fire escape window, where it then lost its scent.
How would it lose the scent? Is my question.
Well, if it goes out the
Well, the dog can't go out the window to go look for it. The dog scratched at the window and said, this is where I'm pointing. And there was nowhere else there. But we also seen the same dogs who are trained to do drug things, and a cop just goes this, and the dog scratches like, now we're gonna search your car,
Yeah.
like, and there's
But I feel
there's
like
never drugs
that's
found.
what I mean. Like saying the scent was lost. I don't think that's real. I think
Well, the dog
they
led them.
follow
The
it.
dog led them to a window that led to that fire escape. So that they're
Did
just
they fingerprint the fire escape?
yeah.
She actually wore gloves, in case you didn't notice.
yeah. She wore gloves. No.
Yeah, they found them in the tank. with
Yeah.
her.
So where am I at? The Central was lost. A video was then posted to the internet by a Chinese user after Lam's death showed that the hotel's roof was easily accessible via that escape ladder, and that 2 of the lids on the water tanks were open. So someone did look and say like, hey, these tanks were open, and that fire escape can lead to the roof. So that does lead to that. But I mean,
Not just anyone can get on top of the roof.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to
Now, if
say,
you're-
especially in her state of mind.
If you're sober or you're clairvoyant and you're cognizant, you're going to be shitting your pants 15 floors up looking down. Now, if you're manic and you're thinking things are chasing you and you're seeing things that aren't there,
Maybe not.
a 15-story ladder fire escape to you is not going to be the same experience as if you're in a normal state of mind.
Or it's even worse.
Or it
I
could
would
be,
say
yeah.
it's even worse, personally. I
Yeah.
would say it's even worse.
I almost wonder if, since like about hallucinations and stuff, if it was the point of like maybe they won't follow me out the window,
Sure.
up the
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because this
That's
is so
always
crazy.
possible.
Whatever chased me won't follow me here.
yeah.
Which is a thing. So now the thing I want to add to this as well, around the same time in LA when they had all hands on deck, they were doing a clean sweep of the entire hotel. They were going room to room to room, checking everything. They got half of it done because there's a lot of rooms.
Oh, yeah.
They checked the roof. The dog picked up a little bit of scent but couldn't find much. But when the next day where they were going to go back to research and finish their investigation is the same time where I don't know the exact case, but there was a case going on where a former LAPD officer pretty much was on a statewide
Mhm.
manhunt because he was served a warrant or something like that, or they went to go investigate a possible thing that he did. And when the cops showed up, he shot and killed the cops, and then he went and killed cops somewhere else.
Mhm.
And then it was this nationwide manhunt to find this ex-Marine, ex-military, ex-LAPD officer
Yeah.
who pretty much said, I was wrongfully this or that. I don't know the whole case. If I'm not saying it correctly, I
No.
do apologize. But all police force
Yes.
and attention then went from Elisa Lam to then finding this guy. So they
Mhm.
went from an entire team to search 700 rooms in all these locations to a team of 4, which obviously you're going to have some
Mhm.
missed things there.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if they missed something personally because of all, the things that they were facing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll put the theory out there. If you're blaming a hotel staff member for murder, right? If you knew where the cops searched, and then you know that you catch a break, it wouldn't be hard to find a body, to move your body from place to place.
Mhm.
Yep.
And if you're going to put it in a water tank, it's a great way to destroy a lot of evidence.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
So that's there as well. Apart from, yeah.
If that was the case, why strip her down?
I have a theory on. Well, I have.
That's your pervert.
Yeah.
Right, but
I
like
think
I
the-
don't know.
I
It
think-
seems odd. To, like if
Um,
it was someone else.
yeah.
The
So a part of the
murderers
question
are
is how
weirdos.
she got on the roof. Others asked how she got into the tank by herself. All 4 tanks were 4 by 8 foot, 1.2 by 2.4 cylinders propped up on concrete blocks. There was no fixed access to them, and the hotel workers had to use a ladder to look in there. And they were protected by heavy lids that would be difficult to replace
Mhm.
within. The lids were off, so that's out of the question. The hotel employee who found the body said the lid was open at the time, but then he said it was closed, and then he said it was open. He changed the story, but the lids were open.
Yes, he changed his story. Just want to throw that out there.
But he also
Throw him.
did not speak English.
Yeah,
Correct.
there was a language barrier.
He
yeah.
is he
So
does
there's
speak
the language
Spanish.
barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could like account for the.
I think he also
That's
said he looked in and then
That's true.
closed the lid, then got help.
Yeah.
I think that's something that happened there too. I could be wrong. Removing the issue of how she could have closed it from the inside. Police dogs that searched throughout the hotel for Lam, even on the roof shortly after her disappearance, noted or did not find any trace of her. So with the stripping of clothes, if you're in water, all right, even if it's LA at night, it does get cold. And if you're in water, you're going to get cold, regardless of at night when it changes. When you extreme hyperthermia or at the point where you're going to go through that, a lot of people, the theory is when you go to an extreme shock like that, your body burns up and you feel like you're on fire. So a lot of people who, when you find them in like the mountains of Antarctica or where they're going through situations where they're drowning or they're going to freeze to death, a lot of times you'll find them naked
Sure.
because they stripped their clothes off because at the point where they're going to
what if
die,
her clothes also in the water tower?
yes,
Okay.
they were.
I guess it has not necessarily. My question didn't have to do with her taking them off. Is if there was someone else, why strip her down?
Yes. So
Like if they just dumped the body.
This is what explains
Probably
the clothes
yeah.
off. Is
Right,
is
'cause
she
a pervert?
So they say
Yeah.
she may have climbed in scaled or whatever she had to do. She is tiny. She could have put feet on one side, back on the other, and shimmied her way up, anything like that. Climbed in, and then once she got in, people use the water pressure drops and raises. So she got to a point where she couldn't reach, swimming, panicking, gets to the point where she thinks she's getting to that point. She's cold. Then on top of the manic situation, she gets to that point where she feels like her body's burning up. She strips her clothes off and then ends up drowning or whatever the case.
Well, what
may
if
be.
that was the point she went into the tank to start with? Because I'm assuming there's no pool at this hotel.
No.
So if
Going to
she's
take a swim?
burning up, it's possible that may have been the only water source she knew of.
Well, no, the burning up happens when you're already experiencing when you're at that
Oh, I
near
see.
death experience. So there's a
Like in
story
the
where
water.
these mountain climbers went to this thing and an avalanche buried them. And the report is when they uncovered them, they're like, they were kind of still in like an enclosure, but like a building, like a tent type thing where they were trapped in there,
Yeah.
but they couldn't get out. And when they went in and found them, they were all naked. So they're like, oh, they were doing perverted stuff. Like, and then they realize, oh no, when you're at this point, you strip your clothes down because you're at that last point of your brain not functioning and you're no longer, you're in control, but you're not in control. And then you're like, I just gotta take my clothes. And that's where you end up. So that's one of the theories of why her clothes weren't on. But like I said, the maintenance guy had to go get a ladder to get in there. It's just a lot of weird things going on there. Yeah. Do I think it's paranormal? Not at all.
No,
Not at all.
normal.
But did someone throw her in?
Not
Possibly.
I don't think a
Yes.
spooky ghost or demon or the people who are summoning the devil or the ghost of Richard Ramirez had anything to do with any of this. Sorry.
What about the
Have-
ghost?
Sorry,
the
Ghost
homeless guy
Adventures.
that died from the suicide.
Yes.
Because if anyone's gonna
Yes.
haunt, it'd be him.
Yes, it's
Does he
him.
ain't pissed?
He's very pissed. He wants to get
He wasn't
revenge.
asking for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He was
He didn't wanna
taking a
die.
He
walk.
was just local transient, George.
One of the
Take
worst.
Enjoy-
Enjoying his transient life
Now,
that he did not ask for.
if you don't know this part of the story, it doesn't get any better. So
No,
during the
it's bad,
situation when
actually.
her clothes are now stripped, her clothes sank to the bottom.
Yep.
The water is then pulled from the bottom. So water pressure went down.
Mhm.
And people in the hotel were experiencing discolored water, funny tasting water.
I think that's my biggest problem with this whole thing.
Yes.
Those people that drank the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
the water is brown, I'm not even washing my hands.
Yeah,
in
but
it.
what was it to start with?
brown.
No, I mean before this.
Well, they just said it was
Brown.
discolored. They
No,
didn't say it
brown.
was fully brown or anything. It was just very discolored.
Still,
Yeah.
if it's
And it had a-
reddish
colored,
because
I'm
if the
not
blood
touching
came
it.
out, it
Right.
wouldn't dry. So the blood would stay red.
Yeah.
it was not-
But you have to realize too
For a while.
is how much came out and how
Yeah.
much because when you die, obviously you secrete.
Yeah.
I think it was
yourself
dirty from
as
the
well.
Start, though. Like,
It's
it's like
so
all the way
gross.
dirty.
There's
Maybe
a
they all
lot-
had Brita filters.
There's a lot of things that could have been in that water and
Ugh.
people were
I don't
Yeah.
care. I just don't have
using it.
sympathy for them because they drank it.
But if the thing was
well,
open,
they
that
weren't
means
drinking it, they brushed their teeth with it.
open rainwater
And
was
showered in it.
And showered and washed
Yeah.
their hands.
That's if it rained
I
in those
mean,
7 days.
Yeah.
If the
Yeah, but
water's
and then
dirty, I'm
birds
not-
could be going in
I'm
there
not
too and
drinking it.
everything. If
Absolutely.
they were open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'd have some problems. I'd be down there every day.
Why the
fixing
hell were they
water.
open?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Why were they open? If they were open.
The water tanks? Yeah, I'd like to know that too. What?
Yeah.
What did
Because you
guys
always
do?
see in the superhero movies that there's always that cone shaped thing over the water tank. You know?
Absolutely.
The Animaniacs were there.
That's right.
So I mean,
Taking over the world.
if you presented that she was murdered, I buy it, but I also can buy that she committed suicide as well.
Right.
She just wrong place, wrong time,
Yeah.
got into a situation she couldn't get
Like
herself
by
out of.
accident, you mean?
Yeah, accidental suicide. Like
Well,
I don't
if you
think
watch
she
the video.
I don't think she planned this all
No,
out.
you'd be like, either she's nuts or she has problems.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or she's for high. You know,
Mhm.
or all the above.
Yeah.
So maybe someone did whack her. you
I
know?
think it's a mixture.
Yeah, I can be sold either way. Either way, it's sad that someone lost her life, but
Mhm.
I mean, if she told me she was accidental suicide, I can get behind it. If you tell me she was murdered by an employee, I can get that's very
my
plausible
theory.
too. You know?
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental health and employee, which when we get to our theory,
And then
I'll share my.
When a
detailed
lot of
theory.
people look at the documentary, they say the owner of the hotel seemed weird or off or stuff. But
That's
also
what
with
Mark thinks.
editing, you can take stuff and
Ken,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
She
You can
just-
clean it up real good.
Yeah.
yes,
She just seemed real.
cold. The best way I describe she just
But if you own a place where people are always dying,
Yeah.
I
She
mean, the
worked-
first time
she
it's
worked there
something.
10 years and seen at least
Yeah.
80 people go out
Hey,
in body
but
bags.
I would have gotten a new job.
The 75th time someone
pay your
dies,
bills.
you're
A
like,
long time.
again.
You're like, oh, another person
But
from
it's
Skid
a-
Row
how much
came
is-
in and
yeah, how much
overdosed
is
in
it
our
gonna cost?
hotel.
At the
Yeah.
one point when they were talking about her, like everyone's like, "Oh my god, we drank the water of this girl," and she's like, "Well, think about how we feel. We work here. Like,
Yeah.
'Cause she was-
work here.
No,
Damn
I'm
it.
sorry.
Well,
All right.
Well, honestly, they could have taken a whole sentence and chopped it up and made
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
True.
So a lot
But
of
I
that
also don't have sympathy for those people that drank the water.
Yeah.
Like if it's brown water, come on.
hmm
No.
unless it's beer coming out, you know.
Like
There's-
I'm not gonna wash my hands.
There's
if the
people
water
around
coming
here that
out
don't
looks
drink the
gross.
water from the reservoirs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cloudy.
So
thought she was maybe a little like ditzy, possibly, or like flighty. That's what I thought.
The
That could be.
manager.
Yeah, that's what
she
I
was-
thought.
Yeah,
I
she's a
just
little flighty.
to me it
I
looked
thought
like
she was
it looked like
flighty.
editing to make her look different. You know what I mean? Like it fit the narrative of what they were
I-
trying to
She
accomplish.
seems
Yeah.
like somebody who's not a manager person, but ended up being the manager
Yeah.
of the hotel and shouldn't have.
I
been.
mean, like I said, who's gonna manage an old
Yeah.
hotel that's nicknamed Suicide Hotel in the
Yeah.
middle of Skid Row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
who
tough
would- Who would
job.
want that?
That's a tough
Right.
job. You
You'd have-
gotta.
You have to be a little weird.
She's
I don't want that.
probably-
Yeah, you gotta
and
be a
they're
little weird.
they're renovating. Oh, it's just they're
Renovating it.
they're
five
re,
times.
re, they're gonna redo it and put another. They're gonna try to make another ritzy hotel, and they're probably gonna do it on the banks of the stories. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because if you're the new owner, why would you let these stories go out? Why would you let Ghost Adventures in? Why would you let all these documentaries in to tell all
He
these
wants the
horrific stories?
publicity.
So when you do open, everyone's gonna want to be there to experience it.
Yeah.
And then what you're doing is you're bringing a bunch of tourists to fucking Skid Row. And these people in Skid Row who have nothing to fucking lose are going to rob these tourists for their
They're-
shit.
They're hoping that it will slowly build up.
It won't.
And get rid of
And
it.
that's what I want.
It's an up and coming neighborhood.
Yeah.
The employees.
It's not going to be. You're
There's-
not getting rid
No,
of
no,
that
no.
many people.
That's the code word.
Yeah.
It's the up and coming neighborhood.
They're trying to revitalize downtown LA currently, and there's like a big movement for it. Apparently, good luck with that. Because it's really in shambles. Like everybody, like we were talking here actually. I thought about how everybody's leaving LA and going to like Texas and
Yeah,
stuff, but
Everyone's leaving.
they're
yeah.
really trying to revitalize it right now. So I guess this is part of the revitalization plan, but I don't think it's going to work for them.
Yeah. So there are around 17 deaths listed on the Cecil Hotel's Wikipedia page, including Lisa Lamb's, Pigeon Goldie's, and a number of other tragic passings. However, in series, the general manager, Amy Price, explains in her 10 years of working there at the Cecil, she saw around 80. The hotel first opened in 1927, 80 years before Amy started working there. So it's unclear to see how many deaths really occurred in this hotel, but it sounded like it could be well over 100 based on those numbers.
Mhm.
Wow.
This seems like a weird thing to ask, but I wonder how much she gets paid.
Well, see, that was my
Probably
theory,
not
too.
much.
I
That's my
feel
theory.
like maybe a lot
Yeah.
Oh, you
because
think?
there's people constantly moving and they're like, listen, if you stay, we will pay you X amount of
Sure.
money to stay.
Also, she's working in a major city, so to us, she's probably making 60K a year. But if you take that and you
Put it out there.
put it to our standards, she's probably making 30,000 a year
For the.
I
For
was
the sake-
thinking
all
that
right,
about the employees though. Like I feel like the
because everything in the
I-
city costs more.
Yeah.
You're
like
right.
the employees are probably not far above some of the people staying there.
The janitor probably makes more than us
Probably.
a year,
Like because they can't get anybody else. To
but
work
he
a
also
place
works
like
in the
that.
city. So
Yeah.
if
I
any
agree
job
with
you go
that.
work at in a big city, no matter what you're doing, is probably going to pay more than a job in our area because our area's cost of living is is a peak.
Yeah. Yeah. Much
Yeah.
lower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking since part of it is subsidized housing for like the city or the county from like say the state or government, they probably get maybe a little bit more than you're thinking too because it's a government
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a state job, federal job, whatever, whatever category it
I'm
falls
saying
into.
is you have a 700 room hotel in the middle of a homeless problem. I think that solves a lot of your problems right there.
Just
Obviously,
let
no
the
one's gonna.
homeless
You're
people
not
live
gonna
there.
bring fucking tourists in to be a part of it. Like, at least try to do something to help the fucking
Well,
people.
except those people that came from London and drank water.
Oh, yeah, those
Well,
poor
they
people.
came there on a budget and thought, oh boy, these are really cheap hotels, but didn't know what Skid Row was.
And everybody thinks LA is so like, oh, I gotta go to
Glamorous.
LA.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
so
yeah,
glamorous. Yeah, very glamorous.
Yeah, we went.
It's
We had
not.
we had a friend who just went there, and he was like,
It was so bad.
He goes,
Homeless,
"There's
so
tents
bad.
everywhere."
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because there's even homeless people who are like, Skid Row's too much for me, and then they're like, I feel safer camping out on where the Star Walk is. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there soon, so we'll see exactly for ourselves how rough LA is. So cultural references. On March 27th, 1987, the band U2 performed a live concert on the rooftop of a one-story building on the corner of 7th and Main in downtown Los Angeles, next door to the Cecil Hotel. The performance with the hotel is featured as the backdrop. It was filmed for commercially released music video and the release of the band's song "Where the Streets Have No Name."
Too
The
bad U2 wasn't found in the water tower.
Oh boy!
I hate you too. I am with.
I think a
mean-
lot of people would be happy if Bono was found in that water tower.
But we'll go back
I
to
don't like Bono.
so
He's
not
an
Green Day?
asshole.
Yeah, Green Day. We talk about
We can
talk-
leave Green Day alone.
talk
but
about a lot of charity. Bono's done a lot of it.
Bono,
he's fake charity.
the South
fake
Park. What is he? The
charity.
piece
He
of
does
shit?
it.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just going to quote that. I love that. That's like one of my favorite episodes because it exposes him for who he is, a shiny piece of shit. That's what he
LeBron
is.
James over here.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love LeBron James.
The hotel
not a
also.
piece of shit.
Let's compare who has done more in charity work. LeBron James.
LeBron.
Someone Google that.
Or Bono.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The hotel has also had inspiration for a Barton Fink. Inspiration for the hotel was also
Not the
inspiration
Barton thing.
for Barton Fink, a 1991 American period black comedy psychological thriller. The film was written and produced and edited and directed by the Coen brothers, and it was set in 1941 and stars John Turturro. Pretty much, he worked as a playwright and worked in a rundown hotel. So the hotel was used for
I was gonna
that.
say, sounds like something from back in the day, like
Mhm.
HF Dusselfink, you know,
Yeah.
like
It was also the inspiration for American Horror Story season 5.
Great.
It was a
Great
setting
show.
for the
Yeah.
No Sleep podcast season 3, The Cecil Hotel, which adapted a horror fiction shortly loosely based on the death of Lisa Lam that took place in the hotel in 2013. So she's already getting movies made about her. Exciting. The hotel can also see as the backdrop for Blink-182's video, The Rock Show. The song of the group's 4th album, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, in 2001, can be seen throwing money down from a single-story rooftop located next door to the Cecil Hotel.
how about that?
So the music video, because I'm a Blink-182 fan,
Mhm.
they were given a bunch of money to shoot a video. So they got a shitty camera and walked around LA with all this money and just like they bought a
remember
car
it.
and destroyed it. They gave this like really attractive girl on the street like 10 grand so they could shave her head. And then
I
they just
remember it.
started throwing money out the windows in Skid Row to give people money.
Such a great video.
Yeah. So
Such a
that
great band.
it was featured there as well. So
Way
that's
better than Bono.
Travis Barker's dating
Oh, that was loud.
Kourtney Kardashian right now.
oh yeah, it's just probably
Wait, is he?
He's not black.
She's
I said it. I don't care. That means
well, Courtney was married to a white guy before.
Was
Travis
she?
Barker.
They weren't
She was.
married.
I actually
They
didn't
weren't
know that.
married.
'Cause
What?
They weren't married, I don't think.
Her baby, her first father,
All of her
father
children.
of her children, or her
All of her
children's father is a white.
Oh, you're-
So,
All of her- she's got
so
like
The
four
children of her
Courtney
father.
has
Do you-
dated white guys.
Do you think
before.
he has to pay child support? Or do you think
Yeah.
she just has enough money that she's like, whatever.
She probably
It's
still
cool."
gets
Well,
her child
I
support.
think they have like a decent relationship.
I wonder if he gets
Yeah.
child support from her.
Maybe.
Probably.
Boy, that would, that would be
Maybe, yeah.
fucking awesome.
I'm sure he does.
Sorry to derail it, but it was just something that popped up. I was like,
I wonder if he took her for half.
maybe.
good.
Took half
You
her
know,
money.
someone should. Take
It's
money
about
from
fucking time.
assholes.
They're
all
buying the
fucking
hotel.
I don't like
They're
the
the next owners.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
They're lame.
assholes. You know what? Throw them in the water.
Put them in the fucking water tower.
Them, Bono.
All the Kardashians were found alive in the water tower atop the Cecil Hotel this morning, along with Bono.
That's
who
fucking-
was,
good.
who was
People are like-
determined to be a piece of shit.
I didn't ask for that album on my iTunes. I'll tell you that.
Oh, they put that album.
Remember that when
Yeah,
they
they-
forced everyone to take it?
Yeah, they
oh, I was
forced.
so mad.
I didn't even use it. I logged on just deleted it.
I
I'll show
also-
you.
Which
Bono.
also bumped
I
their
also
numbers.
deleted it.
What bumps their numbers that made them the number one album. And like, wait, how are they number one if you're forcing people to have it?
Take that number one back. It's
Assholes.
it's like Michael Scott. Take that number one back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I changed the wording on that because
Office.
I send it back.
Yeah. So
I
what?
send it back because it was forced on my phone.
So what? What else have you guys seen with the Cecil that maybe I missed?
You won't let me talk about it.
Oh, you want to talk about that? Yeah.
The baby.
Go ahead. You can bring it up.
Well, they said that a lot of people did like devil worshiper Satanistic rituals there.
Oh,
and
they
stuff.
did. Yes.
They
Mhm.
claimed Richard Ramirez did that there.
Yeah.
'Cause he's always
and then
like
him-
real
I think
who
that
claimed
guy-
that? The
well,
guy in the Jericho podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure that other places that
Who works for Ghost Adventures.
Well, that might be the word, like, you know, for years. Oh, Richard
Yeah.
Ramirez did this. That,
Yeah.
You know. So I don't think it was just him that
Oh my
started
God.
that. That might just be the word.
I was listening to that Jericho podcast at work,
Mhm.
and it was working on which is called like our mezzanine, where I'm all by myself, just auditing all day, like going through totes of people's work and making sure they did
Mhm.
their job right. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, shut the fuck up! Like I was so angry listening to it. He's like, oh, I was in the basement by myself, and there was feet chasing me, and I fucking got in the elevator, and I got up. And then the guy's like, hey, you good? He's like, I'm fine, bro. Let's get out of here. I didn't tell them because, we experience it all the time. What?
Like,
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't think he was that bad, but like,
And then he's like-
if he's like how the Zach Bragan is on the show, it's like,
And he's like, "Oh, we went in this room. We brought this psychic medium in, and immediately, like, he looked at his wife and goes, "What's up, killer?" And we
Yeah,
were in
yeah.
Richard Ramirez's room. Spooky music. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
what-
shut the fuck.
"What's up, Phil? Why'd you say that?" Well, I just thought it was someone.
Then
saying
he
it.
should have said which room it was, because Richard Ramirez's room was on the 14th floor. Did he mention that?
I
Did he
don't remember.
mention that?
He then he said that he
'Cause then
took
he's fake.
he took the one girl up there and she didn't know where she was, and how could she possibly know the events of where she was and how she's doing things? There's shitheads on the internet who know exactly what room Lisa Lamb stayed in. There's exactly rooms that fucking
Yeah, those
they
conspiracy people. are
they know
crazy.
exact. So if you're gonna tell me you're gonna bring a psychic medium in, and I'm not discrediting all psychic mediums, but if you're gonna tell me you're bringing in your psychic medium, and there's no possible way that you put her in the one room. Now, if you're a ghost guy and you're trying to get good footage, of course you're gonna bring them to a hot spot.
Yes.
You're not gonna bring them to the fucking bathroom where the only thing that ever happened there was someone had fucking diarrhea.
There's only one. There's
You know
one
what
on
I
the
mean?
floor.
and
Which
be like,
of the three bathrooms?
what do you experience here? She goes, oh, I experienced. No, you're gonna bring her to the hot spot, so she's gonna know she's put there, and you're gonna tell me you didn't fucking talk about it. And she's like, oh, my area feels weird.
That was.
And I was like, wait. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, I feel like I'm being raped right now. And they're like, and this is crazy because this is the room where the pigeon lady was raped and murdered and
Yeah.
stabbed. And there's no way she could have known that. Fucking Wikipedia told me a lot
You
about
think
this
she
fucking
would've
thing.
researched the building if she was going there?
Fuck,
Yeah.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
know, a little
probably.
bit. I would have.
Dude, even the fake mediums fucking research people when they show up to their events so they can fucking be right. You're gonna tell me yours is not doing the. There's no way she knew. There's plenty of ways she knew. Shut the fuck up.
They should blindfold them
Yeah,
and be like, find the room.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
There you
find
go.
the
Yeah.
right room.
Yeah.
I
and,
like
and,
the
dog,
and you
like the
tell us
dog,
what
you
happened in this.
find-
Now listen. Once again, I'm not shitting on all psychic mediums. If you're a true one, awesome. But a lot of
Sylvia
your
Brown
people, a lot of people in your profession, I have
or
questions.
hacks.
See, like what they should do is not say anything about any room.
Mhm.
Just let them go through and like do like a
Right.
free tour, like a random tour, and then
Mhm.
see what they pick up. Don't go right
Yeah,
to
and then after.
Elisa's room or right to the pigeon
Or just like
lady's
pick
room.
a
Yeah.
random floor and just be like, here, go for a
Yeah,
walk.
but it's
Yes.
hard when it comes to TV and stuff because you don't have to see shit, and you can edit her in saying, "Oh, it was this room."
Or you do a
Yeah.
fucking whole 3 minutes where Zach Bryan fucking falls to the ground and has a seizure, and he's like, "Oh, I was in the scary room and this
Yeah.
happened." I fucking hate that. Like I don't know. It makes me really.
Yeah,
not
I like
believe
what
it.
treat it like it's real.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't be like walking.
If you
back,
don't experience
"Oh, something-
anything,
there's
you don't
anything in this
experience
room."
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you say, "Hey, we just didn't experience anything."
And then you can say, is it really what it's like cracked up to be?
And
then,
if
you
you
didn't experience anything,
Want to stick a bunch of
question it.
schmucks that know nothing in a fucking haunted location, and we'll be as honest as possible. We'll do it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, call us.
I
We'll
won't
be
walk in
honest.
and be like, "Oh, there's definitely something here."
I feel something right here.
My private's
touching
still
it.
weird.
I believe we should apologize to the ghost that lives in the
I
closet.
will say this: I went to the Jim Thorpe prison. And not one time did my butt hurt.
Maybe it doesn't have a history of.
Why would it?
It's prison. It's a prison job.
Yeah, maybe
I know, I
there's no
know.
history of that.
Tell
there.
me, thank you.
Maybe they just didn't.
I mean, maybe you didn't bring the right soap.
yeah,
Very true. I didn't talk like
I didn't feel shit
Maybe they
there.
just
So
didn't
I
like
mean,
you.
tell you, I thought it was. Kind
I
of
was
nice.
just if I felt anything in that prison, I felt honor that they let us in there. I felt blessed they let us in there, and I felt like this is a really historical, cool building, and
Yeah.
I would not discredit anyone's experience.
Yeah, this is very interesting,
Yeah,
I felt somewhere.
and thank you. But
absolutely.
I thought it was kind of cozy, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
for a prison.
I was more.
I like that prison.
I walked in with the feeling of just being welcomed by the people letting us being in there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and-
sure, if we were
and-
in jail at the time, we were.
and I was also
Right.
very stressed out that I wanted everything to go well.
Yeah.
So, was I perceptive of the ghost encounters
Probably not.
by saying it's haunted? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
What about that little
Because
ghost
I had
kid that you
experience-
touched in the face?
No, what?
The little ghost kid you touched in the face.
Oh, the kid, the actual kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully, they said they're going to have us back next year, this
Well,
year.
I hope
So,
so,
hopefully,
Oh, yay.
hopefully we can get vaccines or whatever, and
You need- Oh.
You
everything.
need vaccines? to go
Gotcha.
in?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I
So you don't
hope,
get none of that prison rot.
I just
I
hope,
was like,
I just hope we get to the point now that the vaccine's out and enough people get it and we can figure things out and we can fucking go back to normal society again.
Mhm.
I'd be very excited to go back into the prison again. I'm actually
Oh,
wearing my
cool.
prison.
There you go.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Pretty. This is my Teespring shirt right here.
Yeah.
I was like, I have this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I had
You
mine.
know
I
what,
forgot the
though?
Took that picture.
Since you talk about mine, there's a white line around that side of the edge.
Look
Yeah,
at
there is.
that.
I told her to put a white line there.
Only there.
I did. I said,
Oh, you
Just there?
commanded it.
Just there.
that's a good call.
Just
Just
It's only
there.
on one side.
Uh-huh.
well, yeah, so much for
Now you're
commanding
only
it.
gonna see that.
You can still
spooky-
buy the merch with
it's a-
one line on one side.
A spooky ghost line.
Yeah. Wink.
Yeah.
You missed it
Spooky
because
ghost
you were
line.
too busy focusing on the
Listen,
equipment.
Yeah.
On my
You
beautiful.
missed your ghost experience.
But
it
if you-
happens to everybody. Trust me.
once I get my tablet, I'm sure you'll pick apart my art.
He's gonna do it on purpose.
Let's see. We got in the Truth Behind Illusion podcast says howdy. So that's someone's here.
Wait, we said howdy to ourselves.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Oh, it was Alex. Because Alex has access to the page. Alex
Oh.
Watt.
Oh,
So Alex Watt said howdy.
hi guys. Or hi, Alex.
Bill said his shirt should be coming tomorrow.
Cool. Thank
Bill,
you,
which one did you order? Also, what if they drank the water and started having crazy dreams where they thought they were Canadian? That's funny. The hotel manager definitely seemed like the hotel manager definitely has a room full of candles with a weird scrawlings on the wall. I love Bill.
And
He's-
runes upon the wall.
yeah.
I wonder what they say.
Well,
Yeah.
well, anyway, the building itself has a lot of history there.
It
Listen,
does.
if they want to fucking shut
I-
me up, then I'll go stay in the hotel.
I
for-
mean,
I'd be more scared of walking out of the hotel to get lunch later. than-
maybe
I'm gonna
Eliza or
jump
Elisa
out the
didn't
back
die
window.
Or
of
walking
spirits,
around the
but
hotel, period.
might be some there
Right.
just because all the
Yeah.
guests there
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
Or she's just a girl who was going through a lot and got
Yeah, I mean,
went on vacation and didn't take her medication.
So even if that didn't happen, I would still say there's a good chance there could be something in
Like dark.
Listen,
Yeah.
And like energy, bad energy.
in this building.
for how much has gone on there and how many people have committed suicide,
Yeah.
do I think dark
then
elements
negative
are there?
energy.
Sure, 100%. I think you're going to have weird experiences if energy is residual and you're going through that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a breeding ground for it. Just like a prison, just like a hospital, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anything, that residual energy will be there if that's what you buy into. So I'm not ruling out that it's probably not a creepy building.
It would
Oh, for
definitely
sure.
be interesting to find out, like, if any of the rooms lined up. Like, let's say it was room 8
Yeah,
on the 3rd floor,
Oh.
or whatever.
like
Like, that
vertically?
a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff
The same
happened
room.
in the same room,
Well,
or like the same.
mm.
Like,
well, here's the thing. This is just one hotel that we know the history of because how much has been publicized.
Yeah.
How many hotels do you think you stayed in across your lifespan where you
Someone's
slept
been
in a
murdered
hotel bed?
oh, I'm sure.
And the craziest, most disgusting, foulest things happened while you slept in that room.
yeah,
Murder.
don't bring
Oh.
a black light.
But they just
to
don't tell
hotel
you.
rooms.
I'm sure
Well,
I
of
did when I was in
course.
London.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
stayed
really
in
old.
London
It was
and-
built in the 20s.
yeah.
3 nights before you stayed there, they filmed a porn there. Or
Yeah.
3 nights before,
Hey,
some
I
guy
mean,
was banging heroin in that
listen,
room and
They
overdosed and
rented
died
it
in your
fair of
bed.
charge.
Yeah.
So just in general, hotels creep me out
They
because
creep me out. I always think of what is it, Vacancy? I just picture there's.
what was the
there's
movie
like
where there was a
camera
body
everywhere.
inside? Was that American Horror Story Hotel where there was a body inside the mattress and he comes out?
I think
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
yeah.
it was. I was a good. Well, it was mostly good, and then towards the end, it kind of got like
Yes,
weird, and
That's
I
every
stopped watching.
that's
it.
every American Horror Story.
I guess.
They just take
yeah.
weird right turns.
They do. I like
do.
the show though.
like
I
it.
do like the
Freaking
show.
good.
Weird
Go-
right turns is a conservative turns. That's why I made
No,
me
it was
thought-
like it starts off with like Lady Gaga having like a foursome and they're vampires, and then the next
Yes.
scene's like this ghost demon guy with a drill has a drill dick and he's raping people.
Yeah, it did get really wild there.
It was
That's
like-
the only season I
it was
couldn't
like, what?
finish. I
Then
was
there's like
"No,
then
I
they're
finished it."
abducting children in the
I
hotel.
did.
You're like,
Roanoke
what the
was the worst
fuck is
for me. I had
happening?
trouble
And
with
the
Roanoke.
aliens come.
I liked Roanoke.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why.
just had a hard time with them.
Yeah,
Speaking of
Carnival was hard
Roanoke-
for me too. Yes.
Who wants to take that topic?
Krakoa.
I think the Roanoke. That's
What's
an
that there?
interesting topic. Did anyone know anything about the Roanoke?
There's the civilization that disappeared, right?
It's,
Yeah,
just-
it's a
Like,
Cro-
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that would
something
be
like that.
great.
It's what,
Yeah, it's a good.
1700?
yeah.
Or
Does
no?
anyone have any ideas
14?
for possible topics for next
Yes.
episode? What do you got?
Many.
What do you got?
So would you want to do Loveland Frogman or Hopkinsville Goblins?
Oh, the goblins sound
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I just seen the Sable Eye Pokemon card today.
You want to do that next episode?
Sure, we can. Yeah.
So the next
That's kind
episode-
of alien cryptid.
Yeah, we'll switch over to the cryptid scene. We did ghosts a few times. So the next episode will be on the 27th
Okay.
of this month. So this show
Oh,
will
do
have 2
leprechauns. Oh,
goblins and
The,
leprechauns. Yeah,
the 27th.
the 27th of this month. So we have one on the 5th and then one on the 27th.
That's a Saturday.
No, it should be Friday.
are you the wrong dates or something? No.
You're
should
looking
be-
in March. That's May.
Hold on. 26th.
Well, in May.
26th. The 26th we'll do it then. Yeah, not a Saturday. The 26th is Sunday. Or Friday.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
day now?
The 26th, Friday.
March 26th.
The Friday.
The Friday.
Wait,
Yeah.
March 26th.
Yes.
So we have 2 of these this month. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are you
Ghosts?
sure?
So yeah,
Ghosts?
so this week is
Spooky ghosts?
Truth Behind Illusion, then Banging Beers on Sunday. Then next week will be Not Cool in High School, and then Tornado Tag, and then No Banging Beers on Sunday the 21st. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post one of the Patreon episodes
Mhm.
to kind of let people, like, if we ever have a week where we have to take a break, I'm just gonna post an old Patreon episode, just to kind of show people what what you kind of can
What
experience
it's
on Patreon.
all about.
Yeah, so then they'll be like, hey, I'll go check it out, and then the last of the month will be TBI. Oh, sorry, I have TBI is the 26th. The 27th is a Tornado Tech podcast interview
Oh,
that we didn't announce yet.
okay.
Yeah.
It's Andy.
Yeah.
He's the interview.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a really good interview. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's that guy that disappeared.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
The guy that's
That'd be
oh
horrible.
you were talking about earlier.
no, yeah.
No.
I know nothing about him, so that's
Oh,
as good
God.
as it gets.
I didn't know either. I have a full conversation. Next thing I know, he's
Uh-uh.
all
Gone.
over the internet and people are
Everyone's all over it. We're all over the internet right now. don't
not
we?
in a good way. Not in a good way. So,
Us, that he, not, it's not the way we're.
I thought we were going
I
to
thought
wrestle.
you were getting ready to speak a different
Yeah.
language.
I thought our Tornado Tag
Tongue.
podcast logo was going to WrestleMania weekend in Florida, and that's not the case now. If any wrestling promotions out there that are going anywhere Florida, you need a logo. I'll pay for it. You put it somewhere. I got money back now. Yeah. So with Hops the Goblin, was it
Hop,
the
skin,
Hobgoblin.
Hop, skin, Bill.
Hopskinville Goblins? Next episode.
Yeah, so it could be an alien or it could be cryptid, and that's what Sableye the Pokemon is based off of. How it looks is based off
Hopkinville.
Hop, skin, Bill.
I know
That's
on
like one word. Hopskin.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah.
Hopskinville.
I know that
Which
the
Pokemon?
Sableye.
Stabilize.
It looks like
Oh,
a
yes.
little black elf thing that floats and has
Yes.
diamonds for eyes because it
Yes.
says that these little alien things were floating on the roof and their arms and legs would dangle and their eyes kind of like
Yes.
diamonds.
Yeah.
And of course they ran and got the shotgun. And
This one looks
shoot
like a
at it.
gremlin.
Yeah. Yeah. So they are pretty cool looking, the Hopskinville goblins.
Yeah.
If
The
we can't get a full episode, I'll
got
throw in
real
there a
long
monster
arms.
in there.
maybe we'll do that and leprechaus. We'll do
This
like a back to
one
back.
is the Ditto version.
watch
Who
the
can't fix
movie
his
about
face.
Yeah.
It looks like Stitch.
So you do Hopskinville, and
Yeah.
I'll do
I'll
some
watch
research.
Leprechaun.
I'll do some research on Leprechaun.
Yeah, if not, then we'll just
There's
push
the
it all to
Pokemon.
Is that
That's the
the
Pokemon.
Patreon. Yeah, the Pokemon.
Not Cool in High School is on the 12th. Let's do now that I'm just announcing it now because we didn't really come up with any ideas. We have some ideas, but we didn't lock anything
Mhm.
in. Let's do Leprechaun movies, the horror movies.
There you go.
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, for St. Patty's Day.
Leprechaun.
Oh, wait,
man.
we're gonna
I-
do Zelda. We're not doing
I
Zelda.
thought you said
We'll still do Zelda.
Saint
Well,
Panties Day. I'm like
St.
Panties
Panties
Day.
Day.
Zelda, the
Yeah.
Zelda
St.
thing
Patty's
that could be the
Day.
whole year, so we could
New
do that
holiday.
because that's like
Get
this
on
is the
it.
year
You're
of
right.
Zelda.
St. Patty's
Okay.
Panties Day is all
St.
year.
Panties
And plus, the
Day.
new games are launching this
I
year, so we
bet
could do
there-
closer to launch the games.
Is upwards of 10 Leprechaun movies
There's
So
there?
five.
wait a
now. I
minute.
bet you there is.
What?
There's five.
No. There's
No,
definitely
there's
way
more.
more. Than that.
Leprechaun.
Oh yeah,
like the horror movie Leprechaun.
Yeah,
Oh
they-
yeah.
they
We
made a
got,
bunch of generic
Back in the
ones.
Hood.
Yeah,
Back
I
in the
was
Hood
gonna say there's-
2.
yeah,
We got
there's-
Leprechaun 1, 2. Leprechaun in
four,
Space.
Right? There's-
The one where they go to the casino.
I think there's 5 numbered ones, and then there's more.
And then you got the new remake
That's
one.
the WWE one.
Yeah, which is trash.
Were they actually trying to make them scary, right?
It's trash.
I want to
Give me
watch it.
Warp Davis.
It's Hornswoggle.
It's Hornswoggle.
I don't care. I don't want CGI shit. Give me Warwick Davis. In his
they are kind of always like comedy, but I know they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like whoever got the rights then just said, "Well,
What was the one poem?
you have
It once was a man from
$5,000?"
Nantucket.
Yeah.
His balls are so big, his dick is so big you can suck it. In stormy weather, they cling together. And Spock shot out of his ass. Or something so weird. And then the guy like goes to motorboat the girl because he like sees a girl with her boobs out, and he goes to motorboat her, and it's like soft. It's like a fan, and he cuts his face off. The Leprechaun movies are awesome.
There's
Jenna-
8.
Jennifer Aniston had her acting debut
Yes, she did.
in
Yeah.
Leprechaun.
I'm not a fan.
And then you'll never
Have you
get.
have you
Okay.
watched them ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're super
I thought
cheesy.
you meant of Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love Jennifer Aniston.
Leprechaun
not a Leprechaun.
Returns is good though.
We had to pick. We had to
It
pick
goes to the
one.
story.
We should do Leprechaun in space.
See
Like
what, see what
You're
the
gonna do it in
worst
space?
possible one is.
There's
Um,
one with
worse than
the
me.
Back in the
worst
Hood
rating.
is pretty bad, where
I
he
think
gets
they're all bad.
super high and then locked in the or is it the fridge or is it the stove? It's one of the two things. Then he has Lucky Charms high. It's really funny.
I bet you there's Irish cryptids and monsters too. Other than that's
Leprechaun.
Scottish Loch Ness.
Oh, while we're on leprechauns,
Oh,
does everybody know that Lucky Charms, they took away the pot of gold?
What?
Marshmallow.
Why?
Oh, really?
It's
There's-
not
there's a
offensive.
We'll talk.
unicorn.
We'll talk about
What
this
if
on.
there's a
Oh
unicorn
yeah,
now?
I've seen the unicorn.
We'll talk about this
I
on
mean,
Patreon.
I like the
Sorry.
unicorn, but
I'm
I would
upset.
like the
They added
pot of
that a
gold
couple
back.
years, like a couple years, could have
Yeah.
been 20 years ago. But that
What
wasn't
is-
original marshmallow.
Well, we need stuff to banter for the Patreon
Unicorn?
episode, so let's
Okay.
hold that for that. Bree, what do you got to plug today
Um,
for Truth Behind Illusion?
Oh, it's
It could be
not
anything.
today.
All these shows are starting to blend together anyway.
They are. I forgot my
How many
piece of
people we have
jewelry
over
at
there?
home.
I forgot my senses.
I don't
What
have.
shirt are you wearing?
Scentsy?
Oh,
Did you say?
Yeah, no.
this is an American Eagle shirt.
I can't plug that on the podcast.
No, yeah, you probably
As I
can't.
work there, I don't think
Yeah.
we're allowed to.
Yeah.
But I can plug American Outfitters. So
Yeah.
if you want to shop there, hey, is
have
Abercrombie
nothing.
still in business?
not cool in
Think so.
not cool in high school.
There you go. I appreciate that.
They only
Well,
let
we
skinny
already
people wear
discussed.
their
We'll
clothes
be
now.
all
Yeah.
we'll talk Leprechaun movies next time.
Oh God.
Horror movies. Horror movies is our next episode of Not Cool in High School, and then our
Well,
next TBI will be Leprechauns and the sable-eyed Pokemon.
Hopkins.
Hopkinsville.
Hopkinsville. I already forgot.
Hopkinsville.
Nikolai, what do you got going on? What's your T-shirt tonight? So we could talk about it. Talk about your T-shirt, and then what do you want to plug?
It is Dangertainment from the Halloween movies. It's the TV show from Part 6. I want to say that
Of
they
what?
do in Halloween.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Where they decide we're going to shoot a reality show in Michael Myers' house, and you're going to survive there for the night and get money. And Michael Myers is actually still in the basement, and it's a good one.
We had a debate in our Not
That's
Cool
all
in High School
Busta Rhymes.
private chat about
What?
how
That's the one with Busta Rhymes.
yes,
Yeah, he dresses up as Michael Myers.
yes.
stuff.
So we had a debate in our Not Cool in High School private chat. Which, if
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
pop culture person,
Yeah.
Bill, I probably should invite you in. You're a big horror pop culture. He should probably be in the chat to just talk. But we talked about how terrible, like how we're so against some people are so against the Rob Zombie ones, and I was like, I'm fine with them.
I am
It's
too.
awful. 2 is so awful.
Because that
It is.
franchise took such a nosedive after part 3 that I can live with the Rob Zombie ones because the rest of them were awful.
No,
They're
they
not
were
all
good.
awful.
They were
Like,
some of them were pretty fucking bad. There's one movie where a character dies and they're just in the next movie and they just don't even explain it. They're just like fuck you.
Multiverse.
They're just
Okay.
like fuck you.
Well, you know what? If you're gonna go down that road, Season of the Witch.
It's actually a good movie, but it's not Michael Myers.
That's not the point.
What?
Your
Rob
argument
Zombie.
was, oh, they died in one movie and the next Season of the Witch. You can't even wrap your head around an explanation of that. At least this one was Halloween.
The purpose of Season of the Witch was because John Carpenter wanted to make movies that were just based around the idea of Halloween and
Yeah.
not around the character.
Right.
And they're like, we don't like that. You're off the project, and we'll just get somebody else to make your movies.
It was a good movie though.
It was.
Yeah.
As for a movie, it was fine.
Yeah.
And speaking of that movie, was it the Shamrock?
The Silver Shamrock
Silver
Company
Shamrock.
shirts are going to be available.
I want a
again.
pint glass.
Yeah, I might get a pint glass. I already have the
Listen.
shirt.
If you order it, order me a pint glass, so I'll give you the money.
Okay.
Saves me time because I shall forget.
Yeah, I already forgot.
But this shirt came from Fright Rags. Well, we're already talking about them anyway.
What's your new
Really?
collection? It's like
Yeah.
the Mandy collection or something.
Oh
like that?
man, it's a
Oh
book.
yeah, I'm
Nicolas Cage.
really surprised that they released that.
What is that?
That's the Nicolas Cage.
It's a
one, right?
Nicolas Cage movie called
Oh.
Mandy.
Not a fan of him either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I mean, I
He's
like
horrible.
him. It's
There's
just,
some movies that
didn't
he's
see
in
that
I'm a
one.
fan of, but
He's
him as an
horrible.
Maybe
actor-
Face Off.
Face Off.
Face Off.
Oh,
Con
National
Air.
Treasure.
I like
Con Air.
National
National
Treasure.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not Ghost Rider.
No,
What?
he's horrible
Alright.
as Ghost
Ghost
Rider.
Rider.
I'm not even going to talk about
Not
Horrible.
Ghost Rider 2.
None of the Ghost
Oh,
Riders.
Ghost Rider 2
No.
is up there with maybe one of the worst comic book movies ever.
Zero Ghost Riders. No.
If you had to sit in a room and watch the Fantastic Four series or the Ghost Rider series, what are you picking?
Ghost Rider.
Fantastic Four.
Do I have
Oh.
one?
Some
Yeah.
of those Fantastic Four are rough.
I will take it over Ghost Rider.
I think
any
I
day.
would take the Fantastic Four because at least Jessica Alba's in it.
That's true. Yeah, you sold me.
And Michael Chiklis is
Um,
cool.
And
Yeah.
also,
And Captain America's in it. But
Johnny.
oh, Captain America.
for me, Johnny.
I mean,
Yeah.
one wasn't
I
bad.
like Johnny.
Like real
right.
bad.
All right, you have to
2
watch
sucked.
Ghost Rider 3 or the
2.
remake.
There is no
or
3.
Ghost Rider 2 or the remake Fantastic
Yeah,
Four.
I don't know.
Any
They're-
Fantastic Four.
They're both
Have you
bad.
seen the new one?
Yes, I've seen them all.
Where it's literally in just one room, the whole
Yep.
movie.
That one's off.
That one's really
I'm ready to
bad.
fight you right now.
That one's really bad.
Ghost Rider and Nicolas Cage suck.
No.
I haven't. I
Yeah.
don't care either
Horrible.
way.
I'm not going to even say anything.
Terrible.
'cause,
He was almost Superman
I'll also take
Oh.
Electra. I'll also
Oh.
take Electra over.
over Ghost Rider.
That's right.
This is
Ben
scraping the
Affleck
barrel.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck Daredevil.
All right, Andy, what T-shirt are you
I'll
wearing
just
tonight?
keep going.
All I see is titties. I like it.
Hit it. So I'll plug the rival cavity colors. It's an Elvira shirt. I thought it was the VHS Mayhem, but it's not that one where like she's busting out of the video game store. It's kind of like her like a
Coming out the grave.
yeah, kind of like spoofing like a horror movie cover.
I love it,
It's pretty
Lyra.
cool.
Did we do a topic on her?
Yes.
We did do one on her.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. What else you got to plug?
We'll review her movie then for Halloween.
We
time.
should. Halloween time. We're gonna watch
Yeah.
another.
She has two, but the second one is all.
where she busts out the cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one's so good, but the second.
I want that mouse pad.
I was.
Oh, yeah.
That
That
Sit here and be like,
Yeah, on two big old tits.
yeah, it's a mouse
Like,
pad.
Tony,
that-
pay
that-
attention.
they're
You're
alive.
talking.
Yeah.
I can't.
So what do you want to
That's
plug?
bad. I'm wrestling tomorrow. So how about that actual show
yeah.
in front of real people? Apparently they're doing 2, and they're limited to 60 fans, but now they've raised the cap, so they're gonna be more.
Brad said if his
Nice.
shirt comes in on
Cool.
time, he is going to wear it
Really?
to the ring.
I can take mine there too, and then I'll. Oh,
That'd be awesome.
It is.
We've yet to have a wrestler wear our shirt in the ring or got photos like in the ring with our
Yeah.
podcast shirt.
Oh, well, maybe this is the time.
It is.
Brad said he would help us out if he
There you go.
if he gets it.
Good.
It is WAW Pro Wrestling, and it's at the Signature Boxing and Fitness in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So you want to go there? It's called Shamrock Mayhem, and I believe
You guys have good chemistry together. Should be a good match.
it starts at 6:30. Yeah. So yeah, when you know someone for a while. So I heard there's 2 tapings. So I think there's like 2 shows, or I don't know how it works. By ticket, you might get 2.
Where can you watch the tapings?
I'm not sure.
Find out so we
Yeah,
can.
you can watch them somewhere. I heard they're gonna do like an iPay-per-view thing,
Okay.
but like the you think the flyer would say, but it does not. So
Find out when you go there and we'll watch it.
yeah,
We'll do like a show
that would
review.
be kind of cool if it did. So I mean, no. Anyway,
We were going to do a
Scranton,
show review, but
Pennsylvania.
we can't do that anymore.
It's not.
Nope. Because that's taken off the internet. Which is,
What kind of things are you watching?
here's my thing. Here's my thing. I understand why the promotion has been taking off of IWTV.
Mhm.
I get why, because the owner did horrible things
Yeah, and it wasn't honest with people.
and wasn't honest. But my take is a lot of really, really good independent talent put really, really good matches on that could help them
Yeah.
get exposure for their talent. I think you should have a thing saying, if this guy's a piece of shit, then fuck him and fuck what he did. But look at these great guys
Yeah, we
putting
still
this.
want to showcase the talent.
Exactly. Like when Joe Paterno and the Sandusky thing happened
Mhm.
at Penn State and they took away everyone's school records. Like those kids went out and ran the ball and
Yeah,
threw
don't
the
take
ball.
away their record.
Don't take away what they
Joe
did.
Paterno and what's his
Yeah.
name?
Exactly. That's my take. Like I know that that promotion should be erased, but I think they should find a way to go
I
and
mean,
edit the
it's
promotion.
done.
Yeah.
Right. For all intents and purposes, unless someone was to buy it.
But like some people had really good matches. there,
Yeah,
and
and
I
then
don't think
lost
I don't
over
think their
time.
matches and their hard work should
See,
go
I
away.
wouldn't have deleted. I would have said, "Hey, this is what it is," but we want to have the matches for the wrestlers.
That's
but
my take.
Obviously, we're not going to support this guy.
Yeah, like we're not supporting the guy or the company, but we're because regardless, like, and I love professional wrestling and I love independent wrestling, but like if PPW outbreak, high tension, leapfrog, this company, that company, if something were to happen where those companies disappear, the companies are made to put over the talent in the ring. If you have a good owner of your company, sure, they're trying to put their company over, but they're also trying to book the best talent to put on the best show.
Mhm.
You're trying to put the best, like if you're putting on play on, you want to hire the best actors, you want to get that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But you want to put on the best product.
Depends.
But your overall
you can
goal,
do, yeah.
your overall goal is to put on the talent and put over the talent so they can then move up their career. You're giving them the stage.
Mhm.
Or you're married to the director.
Yeah. or you're banging the owner, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just it just sucks that the people are going to lose their back catalog,
Yeah.
of their work. But Heidi, what do you got to plug?
Mm,
And you can also check Andy out at Tornado Tag Podcast soon.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Not
She
cool
wants
high-
the
What are you wearing tonight?
Slitherian
Crowbot.
Crowbot
She's
shirt.
wearing a Crowbot shirt.
Slitherian.
Who's Crowbot?
A band.
The guys down the street.
Yeah.
A local band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are they all local or only a couple guys?
Pretty much the whole band's
Oh,
local,
cool.
except one guy's from Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, fuck Texas. But anyway, the rest of them are from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Texas opened everything up.
Yes, they are.
Check out IWP Network. Thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you go check out the Patreon if you want to see us ramble and talk and have some fun. Patreon's where we really let our the guard down and we just talk and have some fun. We don't really stick to a script or a schedule or a topic, and we just ramble. We may talk about more things on this episode. We may talk about more things we're into. We'll try to keep it on the premise of supernatural and spooky, but we'll see what happens. We'll see you guys soon. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Question everything.
Question
The truth
world.
is out there.